All right, all right. Good evening, good evening. We'll let the show build a little bit. I got a little bit of monologue before I introduce our guest and get into it. This is The Mission. I am wearing charged up entertainment clothes, merchandise. This is the original vision from a few years ago. Shout out to Noah O and everybody at Charged Up with the shorts representing Virginia as well. And the hat, shout out to VA Verse, the Norfolk hat from the baseball team out in Norfolk. It's been a lot of happenings, a heated battle this weekend, heated in a lot of ways, heated because it was 110 degrees outside, heated because any battle with Marley Park is heated. We'll talk to our guest tonight about that. A good back and forth between Marley Parks and Push Your Luck. The debate is on. It was a close enough battle to where people are debating who the winner is, and Tone from the Hatrix is calling for a rematch already. So that's interesting. We can talk a little bit of that with our guests. Let me chill out my mic a little bit. Make sure, there we go. Make sure yours is official.
Yeah.
Tonight on the show, let's talk about him for a minute. Previously signed to a major label as a rapper in a rock rap group called Bionic Jive, which is incredibly hard to do. We'll talk about that. We'll kind of start there. This gentleman moved into the regular world of rap, if you would, and became a battle rapper and had several high-octane events in the Arizona area. He went on from there. Yeah, levels are looking good. He went on from there to a strip club DJ now. He does that as well. We'll talk about how he became a hypnotist and is now into the world of TikTok with millions of views and followers and all that. Ladies and gentlemen, I give him the old-fashioned applause. On the show tonight, The Mission, EMERG McVeigh.
Man, I appreciate
Season 2, Episode 2. I've tried to have you on a couple times.
Right.
Thank you for coming tonight, EMERG McVeigh.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a nice little drive, man. I had the way to think, had some time to think. I'm glad I got a chance to do this with you because I was looking forward to being able to sit down with somebody that could maybe actually relate. Not that nobody else couldn't, but
well, I'm a man of a certain age.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Similar to you, probably a little older. Maybe we'd have been in high school together. I don't know.
Probably.
But I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions to ask and topics to talk about, but I'm trying my best to be quiet, so I've got my wine and my trippy stick to settle me down. Let's start with you. I ask everybody, I think it's a great thing to start with, your entry point, the first time you heard hip-hop and who introduced you to hip-hop in general. What time period are we talking about? What period in your life are we talking about? What are we talking about there?
The first time I really got in tune with hip hop was Funky 4 plus One More. You know what I'm saying? Way back in the day.
All right.
But then I fell in love with hip hop when the Fat Boys came out.
Okay.
When the Fat Boys dropped and I heard that beatbox and I was like, what in the hell is this? And then after that, Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick hit the scene with Lottie Dottie.
A big record,
yeah. Then you had Daha, Rapping Duke.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Big record.
Yeah. So, back in that era, the Houdini Friends era, that type of stuff, that's when I really fell in love with hip hop. I started rhyming in I was born in 72. I started rhyming in 1981.
Okay. Wow.
1981.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
You might have me, but maybe we weren't in high. Maybe you got me by a couple. I don't want to date you, but wow. Right. I would say I started just as a reference point. I heard of Melly Mel and Planet Rock. I really didn't get involved then. I think I do remember the Funky 4 plus One More being on Saturday Night Live, maybe because I watched Saturday Night Live at that time. I really didn't I started to DJ first. I didn't try to rhyme until LL came out. I wanted to be like LL at a certain point.
LL was a monster, bro.
Yeah,
monster.
Crazy monster, right?
LaToya, Dear Yvette.
Love Just Ice.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
Just Ice, that era right there. Well, that's, I feel like the golden era was 87 to 91. Some people will say 86 to 93. I feel like 87 to 91, that was my my high school years. You know what I'm saying? 87 to 91. That was the golden era, man. You know, you had all the, you had the De La Soul, you potholes in my lawn. You had Just Ice, Latoya, you know what I'm saying? Man, you know what I'm saying? Those joints. Hip hop back then was unmatched because we used to call it the ghetto CNN. Anything you really wanted to know what was going on in New York, you turned on some hip hop. You wanted to know what was going on in the West, you turned on some hip hop. And you got it from all angles. You got the conscious cats, but back then it wasn't really no gangsters until NWA came.
Well, Schoolie D and Just Ice were
yes, for you all the hip hop gangster. You're right.
But in actuality, they just didn't do it as efficiently and as clearly as NWA did.
Right.
And the West Coast, to a lot of us, I was on the East Coast. A lot of East Coast people, the whole West Coast gangster gang culture, is scary. It scared us.
It was.
It seemed scary to think that you could die over a color and all of that we learned about. So I want to move through this because there's a lot of places we got to get to.
Right.
When did you start taking rap seriously? Like everybody, a lot of us freestyle and kick it at the parties or kick it with their friends rapping. And maybe it was right off the bat. I don't know. When did you start taking rap seriously? Like, this is seriously something I want to do.
Well, I was taking it serious in high school because, the big thing in high school was to bang on the lunch table and get at everybody, So we was battling a lot then. I was taking it serious then, but only on the neighborhood level. But after high school, when I got to college and people really, when we started making music on a little Tascam 4 tracks, and I was like, yo, people really starting to feel me. I threw a show in a little town where I was going to college at Dubuque, Iowa, and it was at a nice big spot that held like 1,500 people or so. And we packed it out, bro, back then, Wow. So I was like, okay, these cats, I think I got a shot at this. So I dropped out of college, moved to Atlanta, and I started messing with Lil Jon and all of them cats, Black Market Entertainment back then, you know what I'm saying? Lil Jon and Cersei, this cat named Cersei was on the radio in Atlanta. And
he was actually in a production company called the Dynamic Duo. They did some remixes. Where it was the same time period?
Same time period. Right, yep. Black Market had just came around. And, I started messing with them cats down there and got a small little record deal with this label that was ran by this chick named April. It was called Black Pearl Entertainment. And I ran into this producer named Soul Messiah. And then I started moving around, moving my tape. That's when you used to get hard copies on the tapes and all of that stuff. I started selling my tape. I started doing real good. And then my uncle kicked me out the house, and that's how I ended up down here in Phoenix in '97.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's an interesting story. So we learn here, we land here in Phoenix. And you came from Atlanta to Phoenix, which I'm sure was a bit of a difference.
Yes, very.
A lot of people experience a difference, either weather or culture-wise, one way or the other.
Both.
Coming to Phoenix, yep. Some people both. How long did you immediately seek out the hip-hop situation in Phoenix, or did it take you a minute to get going?
Oh, man, shit. When I got here, I hit the ground running. They had this spot called Memphis Blues going in Phoenix when I came. That was in Mesa, right off of Alma School and University, right there where Club Red is at, but it's on the corner where the Mexican restaurant is at. That used to be Memphis Blues. The Mason Jar was going on. Mill Avenue was the spot by Jack in the Box. That's where all the freestyle sessions used to come.
Can we just I hear freestyling on Mill Avenue mentioned by a lot of the people I talk to over and over again. Briefly, could we just stop there for a second and talk about what days of the week? How did you know when it was going to happen? It's such a give me a little more information about freestyling on Mill Ave because it sounds like you were there.
Absolutely. Okay. Fridays and Saturday nights.
Okay, Fridays
in
and
the parking lot of Jack in the Box. That's where you came to show your skills. It could be any night of the week because Mill Avenue was always packed, but Friday and Saturday you was down there, and I'm talking about when Big Five was the weirdos, when Dalen was Day Day, and and Justice used to be out there, and
Justice was freestyling.
yeah,
Word.
Justice was
Word to
out there.
Just.
Justice was
Word.
out there. He was out there for sure.
Right.
All of the older heads that are here now were out there. And it was a serious thing, man. It used to be mad fights. People used to get jumped on. I remember when the weirdos and no question was Poker Face
Okay.
and Mike and his guy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And they had big beef for a long time and over some hip hop shit. You know what I'm saying? And then back then, I know we gonna touch on the vocal shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
We gonna get there.
We're trying to go through the
Yeah, we
timeline.
gonna
Take
but
it
back
slow.
then you would get
Take
beat
it
up
slow.
for that kind of stuff. If you
It was just not allowed, like lip syncing or not. No, I mean, definitely on the street. There's no option, right?
Well, the thing on the street was if you was playing with the purity of it, you was gonna get your head beat in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they caught you doing some writtens in the freestyle circle, you was getting called out because it was all off the dome. That was the sword back then, off the dome. But anybody who was anybody that was trying to be somebody in hip hop at that time was down there on Mill Avenue freestyling. And you had Mike Mill, which was China Mike back then. Man, you had a lot of cats out there. I mean, it's too many to name, and I'm sorry I can't just name drop for days because I know so many people. But
let's just say that whoever was trying to do it at the time was out there.
Yes, if
You
you
can say
thought
that was the place to be.
Yeah.
If you thought you had lyrics, or if you was popping off the top or whatever, that's where you went to test your sword.
yeah, that's when you went to test your sword, and if you didn't, that's when you went to go let steel sharpen steel. You was out there learning and figuring it out. And shout out to my brother Akko Mac. You know what I'm saying? He was out there, and man, it was a beautiful time in hip hop, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas, everybody, they was gang banging back then, and you still could get shot up and shit. The weirdos was real gangster niggas, but they was real hip hoppers too. So what I loved about it was it'll be fisticuffs, whatever. You'll see a cat at the Mason Jar, or you'll see him on 35th and Glendale. I forget the name of that spot that was over there, but you'll see him at all these little spots, the Electric Ballroom, stuff like that, and it'll be just a little scuffle, but it wouldn't be, no super killing or nothing. It was just all in the name of this sport that we love. So
Right.
Right.
So from what you said, pretty much the streets was the streets and the hip hop was hip hop, and it was wild. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of scenes involving hip hop were wild. I remember that used to be part of the excitement of hip hop functions was the fact that someone might get beat up or robbed.
Yeah.
It happened from time to
bar
time.
fights was fun.
Bar
actually.
fights used to be fun.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a legal
yeah.
way to beat somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Okay, well, did you release, at that point in time, did you release any music here in Phoenix? Because a few years later, from where we're talking about, you find yourself getting involved with a rock rap band.
Right. Well,
So how did you transition from a Mill Ave freestyle, I'm battle rap, I got something for whoever wanted. How does that transition into a rock rap thing?
Well, we was battle rapping hard body, and then the Mason Jar was one of the biggest spots around. Shout out to Tyree Michael Carter. His mom used to run the spot, Adi. Adi used to run the Mason Jar, and she made me the host of the Mason Jar. And the Mason Jar was where everybody came to showcase their skills. So I was the host, and I would be able to spit and freestyle and do whatever the hell I wanted to do. And that's how my name started to climb here. And then that's how I met my brother Akko Mac. And back then, obviously it wasn't no main vocal so whenever he would rhyme, I would hype for him. Whenever I would rhyme, he would hype for me. So fast forward to that point, he was actually recording one of his records. I had already had an album on the street. It was called what was it? Oklahoma Revisited.
Okay.
Shout out to my crew, Southwest Division, Mike D-Lo, Steve Sensei, you know what I mean, Akko Mac, my man Aztec, my man Pete Rock, you know what I mean, my man Yella, all of those cats. But I had an album called Oklahoma Revisited out on the street. Akko had the Akko Mac album. He was doing this thing. He was out in over here, right? It's funny that we was on Ellsworth. He was on Ellsworth
Okay.
recording.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? And the singer for the band, Bionic Jive, was late while Akko was waiting on this session. So the band, the band was jamming, doing their thing. He jumped in, grabbed the mic, started freestyling. They immediately loved what he doing and fired the singer right there. Bow, you're out of here. We're picking this guy up.
Okay.
So they started recording music. Me being his hype man and him being mine, when they did the song Pump, and they did another song called Ricochet. He was like, damn, Merge, I need you to help me while I'm on stage, you know what I'm saying? And their very first show out the gate was with Fishbone and Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Big deal, big name.
Yeah, it was at this mansion where motherfuckers was suspended from hooks and people was eating fire and shit. You know, I'm a hood nigga. I'm like, man, I don't know nothing about all this crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I'm here to hype for my man, so whatever. Make a long story short, I got the hyping for him. The band saw my value. They said, okay, well, we're going to make you the fifth member of the band and we're going to write some new records. So we wrote a whole bunch of new records. We did about 7, 8 more shows. Attorney came down, saw us. A group called, what was it? It wasn't Big Shot All Stars, but shout out to Big Star All Stars because I think it was Beats the Hell Out of Me or Fred Green, referred us to a lawyer. The lawyer flew in from New York, came to see us, loved us so much. Said, I'm going to take this on pro bono. I'm going to get you guys a deal. When you get a deal, break me off my percentage. Cool. So then we started working. He set up the showcases at the Viper Room and CBGB's in New York. We had one West Coast at the Viper Room.
Just for the record, for those who have friends and fans out there that don't know, in the rock and roll world, there's no bigger venues for acts starting out than the Viper Room and CBGB. A lot of acts work a long time to be able to get to be in the Viper Room or in CBGB.
Right.
They're just, famous people died outside of the Viper Room.
River Phoenix, right?
Exactly.
River Phoenix.
And CBGB's is the #1 punk rock and roll venue, probably at least in punk history, if not in rock history at this point. So I want to highlight how substantial it is at that point. Now, right now that's the beginning of you living the dream that a lot of us that get involved in music want to have.
Right.
And I got a lawyer, he's really a lawyer, you can fact check that even back then, flew out to see you, has money to fly where he wants to go.
Yeah, because back then A&Rs used to have to come see you.
Right, there was no internet.
Yeah,
he had to actually fly and get on the plane, which
Mm-hmm.
shows a bit of monetary commitment, so maybe this is a real thing.
Right.
Then eventually he connects you with huge shows. So you're on your way in this dream we would all like to live. Please continue.
Okay, so at the time when we set up the show, we ended up doing the internet had just cracked. Farm Club, which is Jimmy Iovine and Ted Fields. If anybody know about Jimmy Iovine and Ted Fields.
That was a show on TV.
On the USA Network, used to come on right after wrestling. It's one of the biggest shows ever because the WWF at the time
Was the lead-in.
He was the lead, exactly. So, and the premise of the show was to showcase unsigned acts with huge acts and give an unsigned act shine. And then they will fly down a film crew, film you for a whole week, do this big montage on you on television, then show you performing. The key was, if you want to do this, upload your music. That's when uploading first started. And uploading was so new, motherfuckers didn't even know how to do it.
Right.
But shout out to my man Larry Elliott, you know what I'm saying, Bionic Jive original. He was actually the brains of the shit. He uploaded our record. So at the same time the record was being uploaded, we was doing this Viper Room showcase.
Okay.
The A&R for Farm Club, this cat named Brian Whitmer, was at the show. Right? But after we got done with the Viper Room showcase, there was 25 labels in the building, right? When we got done, we had a bidding war. There was 16 labels that wanted us that night. So our attorney was like, but we had Farm Club the next day. No, after that night, we got the A&R was from Farm Club. Brian Whitman was like, I want you guys to come play Farm Club. And the next day, we had got a call from Farm Club anyway, because we had already uploaded our music and they wanted us to come anyway. So it was like a double whammy. So we got invited to the show. The attorney was like, we gonna wait. We're gonna do the Farm Club and then we'll go East Coast. And then we'll see how many labels over there wanna deal with us and then we'll sign. So we got invited. We went to do Farm Club. The Farm Club show was with, it was MDMFK right then, but you know MDMFK used to be KFMD. What it used to be reversed, but they changed it and flipped it. So MDMFK, Scratch Pickles, System of a Down, Cash Money, and Bionic Jive. We was the baby band amongst all four of those heavyweights.
Okay.
Jimmy and Ted actually, as a rarity, were at the taping. So when we shot the taping, afterwards we were up in the green room drinking. Jimmy Iovine came, knocked on the door. None of us knew who the fuck he was. A little bitty nigga, you know what I'm saying? Right. He knocked on the door. My bass player, he asked for our attorney. Our attorney went out on the balcony. They closed the door. They talked for about 15, 20 minutes. Opened the door back up. Our attorney introduced him, who he was. So now we know who he is. When he said, this is Jimmy Iovine, he looked at us and said, welcome to Interscope Records, fellas. And we was like, what the fuck?
By the way, at that time, if you followed music at all, you know, you're talking about the man that brought Limp Bizkit to life, the man that brought Eminem, of course, to life.
U2, Sting.
U2, and all this had already happened.
Already
you know,
happened.
So he's a proven, you know, leader, general in this field. And now this is, you know, this is the part of the dream where the rest of us wake up.
Yes.
But you're in it. You're living it.
I'm in it. So we canceled CBGB's.
Yeah, okay.
CBGB's is out of there. Jimmy wants to sign us to Farm Club Interscope. So we signed the Farm Club Interscope. We started recording. Eminem got a hold of us. Eminem said, I want them on Shady. I want them on Shady right now. When M showed interest to us, Timberland got a hold of us. Timberland was like, no, I want them on Beat Club, right? When Timberland got a hold of us, D from Rough Riders got a hold of us.
Wow.
Rough Riders was like, no, we want them Rough Rider in the scope. So what we ended up doing was we ended up playing a showcase for those people, Jimmy Iovine, and a couple of other Interscope subsidiaries at the gig on Melrose.
Right.
Now, back then, showcases used to be, people don't know about these. That's why I stress performances so hard. Because back then, you used to have to showcase for label execs. And you used to have to give a show as if you were performing for 30,000 people in a room full of 7 motherfuckers. They watching. They just sitting there and they just like, whatever, right? So at our showcase, it's Timberland, M, D, Jimmy, Ted Fields, all them people at the gig on Melrose. 9 people. We kill it, right? Now everybody want us. And we was just about to be Shady Interscope. But Jimmy saw how everybody wanted us so bad. He said, fuck that. Y'all not going to be on no subsidiaries. You guys are going to be on Interscope Records. Snatched us off Farm Club. Didn't mess with nobody. And now Bionic Jive is straight Interscope, no subsidiaries. We in the lab working. We had 7 songs as a demo. At that time, they told us, excuse me, they said, record 14 more. We recorded 14 more records. When we turned in that 14, they told us give them 9 more. So we ended up recording 25 more records. And then we ended up getting our producer and all of that. I was working at a telemarketing center when the record deal came through. And I was working for DES then, and that's when Nextel phones had just dropped. I was a supervisor for Nextel.
Okay.
I got the call while I was on the floor. My attorney called me while I was on the floor and said, it's done. Contracts just came through. I'll send the guys, I'll fax them over to Larry later. I quit right there on the spot, bro. God is my word. I went right in the office. I said, man, the moment of my life that I've been waiting for has came. I appreciate the opportunity. Y'all let me do this, but I'm out right now. peace. And I walked out of the door. I went home and cried for about 3 hours because this is my life work. I've been all over the fucking globe chasing this shit. And this is pre-internet shit. Bless you. So I did that. Bionic Jive, re-recording it. Same cat that did, oh my God, he did Satellite for, it's a punk rock band. I can't remember it, but.
Did you record the all this recording? Was that done in Phoenix?
No, everything was done. I lived in LA for almost a year.
Okay.
I stayed at the Oakwood in Burbank.
Okay.
And re-recorded at the gallery where Michael Jackson recorded his album. Bobby Brooks was my engineer who recorded Tina Marie and Rick James, Fire and Desire, that record. You know.
Incredible, right?
I swear to God to you, God is my witness, and on my mother's grave, we talked to Michael Jackson on the phone, bro. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson used to call Bobby Brooks all the time. And Mike did not have that voice, the one that you see him.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, no, he didn't. His voice is just like mine and yours.
Right, spoke like a black man.
A black man.
For lack of a better way
yeah.
to say it, he spoke like a black man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina Marie would come around the studio all the time. Doug from Body Count is on our record.
Okay.
We were living the dream, bro.
Yes.
We were living the dream.
Yes.
We were out there in LA. That's when smoking had just got banned from clubs and shit. So all of this stuff was new.
Okay.
And we were out here and we lived the dream. So that's why I be mad when cats be trying to diminish what Bionic Jive is. You know,
the fact that you got signed to not only a major, but the prominent major of that time period.
Yes, sir.
I mean, Interscope was killing everybody at that time.
Yes.
You know, you got anybody that's been in the arts or has tried to figure out a way to sell their art and make a profit, make a living off of it. I mean, it's an incredible step, and you have to respect that.
They try to diminish it. Man, I came straight out of the studio onto the Devil's Night tour with D12.
I read your Wikipedia.
Yes.
I saw you toured with a few rappers, and you even toured with Eminem on the Anger Management tour. That kind of fits in more with the music. As I listen to the music, I listen to the one project that's available on Spotify, and I'm thinking that's the Interscope project.
Armageddon through your speakers?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now, How was it, before we get out of the Interscope thing, how was it like going to perform for rap audiences, which I imagine you did?
Yeah, because I toured with Nas with that record. We did the one mic tour with Nas.
Okay.
House of Blues.
Okay.
And we was converting audiences everywhere because this is what I was trying to tell Tommy last night. You dig what I'm saying? We still spitting. Ain't shit changed. We just had to adapt. We had to become rock musicians as opposed to being MCs rapping over rock music. And that was the difference. We had to become musicians. We had to understand music theory. We had to understand what notes are. We had to know if you're flat. If you had to know B, this note is B, this is C, this is D. Go up, go down. I mean, the cat who gave almost everybody in the music industry vocal lessons. They sent myself and my brother Akko Mac. We had to go take vocal lessons for 2 weeks just to learn how to not get hoarse on tour because what we would do. So we had to do that. We used to have to rhyme on a treadmill, all of that shit to keep up with your stamina.
The rock show is a very high energy thing, right? I mean, it's a different thing than some people. Some rappers, Method Man, some of the younger guys give out a very energetic, the baby stage diving crazy. But so people, it's more of a thing now. But there was a time when a rap show might be more subdued, but rock, the rock and roll is always high energy.
Always, bro. Always,
so you're turning people, performing with rappers, and I will say the Interscope sound back then was very rock rap mixed on both sides. They had rock groups that rapped and rap groups that had rock sounds in the music.
Yeah.
So I could see how you could work through that. Now what happens? Does the record get released? What happens next in our journey through Interscope?
The record gets released. We come straight out of the studio and we go right on tour with D12 Devil's Night. Shout out to Urban AZ. Shout out to Mercedes. When D12 came out here, we were fresh out of the studio, and we ended up doing the show at the Celebrity Theater through Mercedes and Urban AB and Urban AZ, excuse me, and all of those people. And that night, I pulled Proof to the side, and I told Proof, "Hey man, no disrespect, but I want to ride your coattail." And this is a true story, man. You can fact check this. He looked at me in my eyes. He said, "Man, I ain't never heard nobody be that real with me. I got you." And then when he came back an hour later with his manager, this cat named Maurice, he came back and was like, "Y'all on tour with us." And that's how we got on the Devil's Night Tour. And the Devil's Night Tour was us, D12, and Cottonmouth Kings. So after we did that tour, we ended up doing the Cottonmouth Kings tour. We toured with Cottonmouth Kings. Them my brothers. We toured with them for a couple of years. And then after we did that, we ended up with Primer 55. Then we were the only group on the Nas One Mic tour. We were the only one. It was us and Nas. I got to see Nas do Ether every night. I got to see Nas do one mic every night by himself. That's why the experiences that run in my body about this shit is deeper than any of these cats around here can ever fathom, bro.
That's a prelude to the no main vocals discussion.
NMV. Don't say it too loud.
Which we'll talk about in 1 second. We're going to get to that. So at some point, there are 2 more records after that one, but I don't believe they were released on Interscope. What goes wrong with Interscope?
Well, we signed for 5 albums.
Right, as most did at the time.
Yes, 5 records. 2 were firm. But in order to get to the second firm record, you had to sell 75,000 copies of the first album to get to the second album.
Right.
If you got to the second album, the label had the other options of the other 3. Now, and when there are options in a contract, it either can be artists have the options or the label have the options. The label had the options, and what that means is it's up to them to determine if you get the next record. If you hit 150,000 copies of record number 2, you get the option, if they say, to go to number 3, okay? At that time, my label mates were Limp Bizkit, Sting, U2, Rough Riders, fucking Eminem, 50 Cent had just signed 50.
Was there anybody that you mentioning all the superstars? I imagine there must have been someone who was. Were there anybody that was more at y'all's level in the game?
Oh yeah, our signing class on Interscope was Bubba Sparks.
Okay.
50 Cent.
Okay.
50 Cent got signed with me.
Okay. Still big names.
Still big names. Yeah.
So it worked out for everybody.
It worked out for everybody.
Man, they were hitting them out the park.
They was knocking them out the park, and then other cats that we were getting close to. Oh, POD. POD was
okay.
Howard Benson recorded us and POD.
See, it's because of my whiteness that I can have this conversation with you.
That's why I said
because a lot of these names would get lost in the mix on other people. But I understand exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. So,
as a person who loves Sublime. And everything.
Disturbed was signed with me.
Disturbed.
Linkin Park was signed with me.
Okay, Linkin Park was a younger new
Head
vibe.
PE was signed with me.
Who?
Head PE.
Okay, I'm not sure who that is.
Jared is one of the illest singers in the world, bro.
Okay.
Head PE had got signed with me.
I'll do the Googles after this.
Who else? Bubba Sparks had D12.
Do you feel like the label supported Bionic Jive correctly?
No.
Do you feel like
no, Fred Durst hated on us real bad, bro.
Well, that's my next question I was getting to.
Yeah.
Now, I listen to your music. And you guys, for the record, let's paint the picture, not that it matters, but 3 white guys, 3 black guys, or something of that nature. Maybe two white guys and a Hispanic or something.
Well, it started off as 3 white guys and 2 black guys.
Okay.
Yep, 3 white guys, 2 black guys.
Okay.
Me and the 2 black guys are up front.
Okay.
Akko was considered to be the lead because he does more than I do.
Okay.
I don't sing. I can, but I don't. I play to my strength. Right. Akko was a very, very versatile MC.
Okay.
He can do it all. So we left that to him. But me, I was the energy. So when it comes for the hype,
got
when
you.
it comes for the
got you.
screaming, all of that was my job.
Okay.
So everybody had their role, just like a basketball team.
Well, let me ask you this: your music was, I could see why your music was brought into commercials for movies. I could see why your music was used in commercials and TV shows. It's a very energetic, it's a very rock and roll enthusiastic sound. And in that time period, what y'all were doing was incredibly popular across the board.
Yes,
and you guys did it
everybody's
very
getting
well.
signed.
You guys did it very well. Let me say that. Let me look at you when I say that. Now, this gets into a bit of a conspiracy theory. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
When you should know this name from that time period about. Do you remember a rapper named Hot Carl?
Hot Carl. I know Hot Carl very well.
His real name was Jensen Karp.
Yeah, I remember Hot Carl very well.
remember?
Hot Carl knows me very well.
Right, because he was signed to Interscope approximately or right before you guys were.
Hot Carl used to hang around on the D12 tour.
Okay.
Hot Carl used to pop up at that time.
He always recorded. His album never got released. It got shelved.
Right.
I read his book, Kanye West Owes Me $300. It's a great read for anybody that wants to know about the journey of getting signed and how it doesn't go right for everybody.
It didn't go right for none of us. Really.
It went worse for him than it did for you because his record never actually came out, and I don't believe he toured that much because he was always in the process of recording.
And Hot Carl was a dope MC.
And he could rap his ass off. He came up winning the freestyle battles in L.A.
Yeah, Hot Carl was dope, bro. Yes, he was.
Well, he believes that from the way he talked, he believed that him sounding like Eminem hurt his career. Maybe Eminem didn't want him to come out to be a comparison or competition to him. I would offer this. Some people believe that Bubba Sparxx's second album was magnificent, maybe much better than his first album, but yet people also agree that the label didn't necessarily support his second record appropriately. Eminem signed the gentleman from Alabama. No, I'm talking about the white guys. What I'm getting to here is there's an idea or there's an impression that Eminem bought out his competition a lot of times.
Well, Interscope was famous for that.
Or Interscope bought Jimmy Iovine maybe. I'm not saying it personal to Eminem, but the business bought out his competition because it was a lot of money to be made into believing that this is the magic white guy. It doesn't happen all the time. This is the white guy. Let's all focus on him.
Right.
And it seemed to be that situation. Now, you mentioned that Fred Durst didn't like you guys.
No.
I would say because you were doing what he does much better and much more authentic considering you had real black men rapping and performing.
Right.
Now,
right.
I would believe that at the time, Eminem or Fred Durst was making that corporation so much money that they could have gone into a board meeting and said, if you don't put a slowdown on these guys, I'm gonna mess things up. I'm gonna change things.
The joke around there was called it was called Interscope. That was the joke. It was called Interscope.
Break it down.
Interscope. Okay, so this is how it went. Fred Durst. The reason why Fred ended up hating on us because as soon as we really got popular, and as soon as we got off that anger management, while we were on the anger management tour, killing shit, Wes Borland, which is the guitar player for Limp Bizkit, he quit. When Wes Borland quit the band, Limp Bizkit went on this toured the U.S. looking for a guitar player.
Yep, he made a contest out of it.
Yeah, they made a contest out of it.
Yep.
They was just doing free shows and shit everywhere, rocking on rooftops and doing whatever they could do.
It was basically the Limp Bizkit challenge.
Yeah, it was.
Like find new guitars.
They couldn't find one.
Right.
So Fred did some bullshit. He went on TRL. For a lot of the young cats that don't remember what TRL was, he went on MTV on TRL, which was True Request Live, and he had on a Def Jam shirt. Check this out. This is facts. After he did that, Jimmy got spooked. Jimmy gave this nigga the VP of A&R for rock music and gave him 2 imprints. That's how Stain came about. That's how Puddle of Mud came
Yeah,
about.
yeah. They were his big acts that
Yeah,
made it. Yeah.
okay. That's how they came about. But at that time, he had us shelved. We just came back from rocking 30, 40,000 people a night on the anger management tour. And we would listen to the radio stations and stuff the next morning, and everybody was like, yeah, man, M did this, and woo, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But it was this band, Bionic Jive, this band, Bionic Jive, this band. We were selling so much merchandise that Eminem people came and shut us down.
For the old heads, I just want to let them know Bionic Jive was much better and technically more proficient to me than Limp Bizkit.
Yes.
Not weird like Korn. Korn
Right.
was weird,
Yeah.
but good, but weird. More rhythmic, more funky, more hip hop
Right.
than say a Rage Against the Machine. I could tell to me when I listened to the music, the MCs in the group, definitely had hip hop background. I hear Chuck D inspiration. I hear all kind of
That's funny
inspiration
that you
crazy
say
in
that.
the music.
That's funny
right?
that you say that because we used to say that our band was a mix of Metallica and Public Enemy if they had a baby.
Why not?
You know what
That's
I'm saying?
a beautiful mix.
Yeah.
So all right, listen. I don't want to get over this point though because there's active proof that Interscope protected its major artists
Yes.
by undercutting and or buying out the minor artists that may have grown up to be competition with their major
Bro,
artists.
they were putting other people's barcodes on the back of other artists' CDs. So when the numbers ran, when you went to BDS and you got to check the sound scan, when the numbers ran, we know damn well we sold more than 75,000 copies because we sold 30,000 of them on the damn road.
Right.
We couldn't keep CDs. That was one of our biggest issues, having CDs met at hotels and stuff like that.
You spoke about hitting a number of 75,000. What did they end up saying your first record sold?
Well, we didn't end up even getting out of the first record because Fred hurt us so bad that when we came off the road, off the Interscope tour, Christian Clancy, which is Tyler the Creator's manager, he was my product manager at the time. He hit us up and he was like, man, I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all shelved. He said, y'all can go back in the studio. We was like, why the fuck would we go back in the studio and amass more debt? That's stupid. We don't even want that. So we ended up going into arbitration for our contract. Took about 4 years. And it ended up happening was Interscope let us out of the deal free and clear so nobody would have to buy us out. And they got that record. But what we soon learned was that was the biggest fucking mistake that we could ever make. Because if Jimmy Iovine let you go, and back then there was a thing called politics. If people would ask you, if you were talking to an executive in LA and you was telling them you was over at Interscope, the first thing they would ask you over there was, who was your politics over there? Meaning, who brought you? So we didn't have no A&R that brought us. We didn't have nobody that brought us. Jimmy was our politics. So if Jimmy Iovine ain't fucking with you, who gonna step on his toe? If he let you go, you think somebody finna sign you?
There's no one to fight.
There's nobody to fight him, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's what ended up happening with us. But yeah, they were protecting their go-to people. And we were a victim of the industry, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now it is 23 years later.
The Wikipedia makes it sound like you guys are still together. Is there still some movement with Bionic Jive? Is it a moot point at this time? Because
Jive.
it seems like when the last couple guys left, like did that put a end to it, or was that just put a super pause to it?
Well, what happened was we ended up with about 5 different installations of it, man. You know, drummers and guitar players and different people coming in and out, man. Shout out to my whole Bionic Jive brotherhood. But what killed us was our guitar player, Rafe, passed away. And when Rafe passed away, God bless him, Rafe, to me, people always slander me and kill me when I say this, but Rafe, to me, I think was Jimi Hendrix reincarnated, bro. The man could do shit on guitar that I've never seen nobody duplicate. And that was part of our issue. Same way with Limp Bizkit. Couldn't replace Wes Borland because Wes was a genius. Right. And so we couldn't replace him. But now, Bionic Jive, me and we're still together. We just released some of the old music that we were doing videos to drum up some new interest for our new project that we got coming up. We got a video that's about to drop in a couple of weeks. One of our bigger records, a record that we did for Disney back in the day, but it's still a hood record. But we did it for Disney, and this song is I know it's gonna blow because it fits the climate, and nobody's still doing the shit that we were doing 20 years ago, bro. This is a record that's 15 years old, and it's amazing. And we're still here. The thing is now, we really feel like that we got a real good chance of really bringing a resurgence back to what we do because now none of us is chasing music anymore. We don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So now this is our liberation. We doing this for fun. So we don't care who comes or who don't. And when you have that kind of attitude, they seem to all want to come because you don't care. And the music is dope. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we coming.
I'm a DJ. I've never been a strip club DJ. Let's move on to that. What's the best and worst part about being a strip club DJ? And please focus on each.
Okay, the best part about being a strip club DJ is you get to be around naked women all day.
Yeah. I'm sure titties don't even like. They don't even do anything for you.
You get to fuck with bad bitches all day. You get to make cold cash money. And you get to do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying?
Because I need a side job, and I wanted, my wife wants me to bring in a little bit more income as my son is going to school, and I think strip club DJ is like where I need to be. I see
strip
that
club
in my
DJ
life.
Is the reason why you could do this. You know what I'm saying? You can carry
walk around with pocket full of ones.
Times, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm always in recruitment mode, and it's a female that turned 18 every day. So we going.
I didn't realize that's part of the job. Like you actually have to bring in new dancers.
Yeah, you got to bring in
You're
new
recruiting in the
like
streets.
that, yeah.
Okay, what's the worst part then?
The hours that it takes to do it and dealing with the attitude of them fucking girls, man.
It's a good and bad of a woman, right? A beautiful
woman.
Oh
my God,
maybe a little bit more attitude with a beautiful
Way
woman.
more attitude, especially when she think you fucking over her money. They be ready to tear your head off. You know what I'm saying? That's the one of the iffy things about it. But I've been doing it 16 summers straight, bro. This is my 16th summer.
Is it really about like breaking off the songs in 2 or 3 minute increments or whatever? Like it
used to be.
So the lap dances don't last too long.
Yeah. It used to be because you used to have a definitive stop and go point because girls are dancing on the floor and they might be doing multiple dances. So her and the customer both need to know, okay, nigga, that was dance number 1. That was $20. Dance number 2 is coming up. That's $40. You know, blah blah blah. Nowadays, but that was titty club shit. Nowadays, it's the booty club. The booty club is a little bit more high octane. You can mix records. Lap dances don't necessarily have a price. As long as you in the front and the dead girl's dancing and you getting your tip on, it is what it is. But I never like to call myself a DJ because I don't play with the purity of the game. You're a DJ.
I appreciate that.
You're a DJ. I'm not. I'm a strip club PC DJ.
I'd like to say if you don't have to be a hip hop DJ to play records. Anybody can play records.
But we didn't even used to. Most of the strip clubs don't even use turntables or even controllers.
Right.
You're using virtual DJ on the computer.
Okay. Sure.
And you're mouse clicking.
Sure.
So we're PC DJs.
Okay.
I know how I use a controller. I'm from the era of roll pitch techniques.
Right.
So that's why I learned how to DJ. I know how to DJ, but that's not my claim to fame. So I don't play around with the word. You know, I'm a strip club guy. I've been doing it for a long time. But if you lace me up in the booth and you think it's a game and you think I don't know how to work this stuff, then I'll show you what it is.
It's my first night. I've DJ'd a lot, but I've never been in a strip club DJ. What's the most important thing for me on my first night?
Worrying about working that mic and getting them girls on and off this stage. Understanding that how you rock a party somewhere else is not how you rock this party here.
I would think.
Yeah, how you rock this party
it would be
here,
different.
It's way different. You know, the music, and that's why I be trying to tell everybody, you know, I don't hate on these young cats. I play their goddamn music every night. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't listen to them cats some of them cats I don't listen to them in my car, because if I decide if I'm listening to them in my car, it's because I'm trying to check and see if I can play them in the club. That's the only way I'm listening to them. Other than that, I'm listening to the stuff that I like. But yeah, it's a different thing. And it'll take you a couple of days to get your foot in it. Mm-hmm. Any real good DJ will adapt quickly. Okay, they like this kind of music. Let me get my playlist together.
I would ask, do the girls kind of set the playlist? Are you playing the music they request because that's what they want to dance to, or what they?
It's a little bit of both.
Like
yeah, it's a little bit of both. You know, you can if you get on fire, and you got the club rocking, they'll let you get busy.
Okay.
But, you know, you get a little bit of, hey, can you play this for me? Because this nigga over here want to hear it and he about to throw some money. You know, blah, blah, blah. Or club is slow. A happy stripper is a good tipper. So club is slow. She requests a song. Yeah, I got you, baby. Come on. We rock out. We'll play. You know, and then you get a lot of, I don't know, no disrespect to you, but white guys always want to hear music that black people don't like no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they'll come in.
I can imagine white guys want to hear like girls, 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 some Motley Crue shit. And because I would say, to me as a DJ, there's different situations, and in any situation, there's like 50 to 100 records that you gotta have. Yeah. You may not always play them, but you gotta have them because they're certain records for that situation that are just necessary. Mm-hmm. You know, with strip club, I'm thinking, Shake What Your Mama Gave You. There's records that come to mind as I, think over the years. But have you ever been accosted or attacked by a woman revolving around a strip club activity?
Yes.
Let's hear that story.
In good ways and bad ways. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I guess I meant the bad ways, but we can assume the good ways.
Man, when it comes to money, a lot of these girls, they get beside themselves. And there's something about the urban community that makes a bitch want to think she tougher than a man sometimes. And
my wife talks gangster to me all the time.
All the time, bro.
She's working.
You know what I'm saying? And so you have a bunch of bitches that try to talk shit. But nowadays, if I argue with a female, I go right for the gusto. Just, hey, baby, get your boyfriend on the phone, because I ain't finna argue with you.
Right. Do you have a significant other? Do you have a wife or a girlfriend?
No.
Okay. No. That was my next question, because sometimes for us DJs with a wife, being up till 2 or 3 in the morning with a bunch of naked women, might not look like the best job opportunity.
I was married a few years ago, and everybody know who my wife was. My wife was Nakia Walker, which was DMX's manager. So it it all worked out, and she used to manage the damn club with me while I was working. So
she knew the game then.
She knew the
different.
game. Yeah.
Okay, so that's enough on the strip club situation. I assume it's going well for you. You seem to enjoy it.
Yeah.
For some reason, somehow, as you started battling, battle rap. And I've played. Aside from that, I've played some of your straight hip hop records. If you were your more traditional hip hop records, I liked a few of them. Great records. And you found yourself battling.
Yeah.
Now refresh us. Who did you battle first?
Well, just to
in the new era.
In the new era. Okay.
In the new era.
Because I am the Four Corner Battle State champ out here. I won that in 2004. That's between the Four Corners, which is Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado.
That was a competition?
That was a competition, yes.
Okay.
They did a whole contest in each state. I won this state, and then I went to Colorado and won that motherfucker.
Okay,
so
incredible.
I did that back then. It was 2004. Right. But now, my first battle was with Marley Park.
Okay. Right.
And I love Lil Bro.
Did you hypnotize him and make him throw up?
I would not answer that question today.
I don't feel comfortable looking at you in the eye. We'll get to your full evolution in a minute. I don't feel comfortable looking at you in the eye, really, to be honest.
I will not answer
and
that
I told
question.
my wife she had to stay upstairs. I know you don't touch the women, but I told her she had to stay upstairs. You won't answer that question. Molly Park, I know he has medical issues, and hey, even I have upchucked, and I didn't throw up, but I did heavily spit in one rap battle. So, sometimes a little liquor or something goes wrong and gets to you. As a performers, we all know this can happen when things don't go the right way in our stomach.
Yeah.
At that battle, he unfortunately had...
he had a situation.
He more than just a little spittle. He just once it got going, he couldn't. It kept going. He couldn't stop it, and some people
that was my fault.
Blame that on you. That's all good. I was just I'm a little high, so it hit me hard for a minute. How did you find yourself? Because as my entry into hip hop in Arizona, I was trying to do whatever to get to know people and get on. So I agreed. To battle not Molly Park specifically. I agreed to a battle competition at the Creepsville event that the 411 show now, actually then known as Loud Pack Net, they put on an event called Creepsville. It was my first event here in Arizona, so I agreed to not only DJ but battle in a competition with 4 other gentlemen, one of them being Molly Park. Apparently, Molly Park knew me and him were going to end up in the end of the battle. I didn't, so I had to battle 2 people, then battle Molly Park. They were throwing out joints and brownies, and I got too high, and by the time I got to Molly Park, I didn't have any gusto left, so he got the best of me that night.
That night, okay.
Later on, I battled a rematch where I got the better of Molly Park. We're friends now. I hope we can just let it go 1-1. I don't, and I don't think anybody else really wants to see the trilogy from me and Molly Park.
Okay.
Now, how did you? So that's how I found myself in a battle with Molly Park, and once you get involved with Molly Park, it's hard to become uninvolved with Molly Park. That's my brother, and I love him. I really do. I just saw him this weekend. How did you become involved in battling Molly Park?
I don't know how the fuck that shit came about. I don't even remember how it came about. I just know I be on Facebook, and I'm a very competitive MC. Mm-hmm. And when I hear niggas talking about, oh, I'm the best at this or I'm the best at that, I was just one of them cats that just say, well, you got to show me. You know what I mean? So me and him got the jaw jacking, so I just told him, let's go ahead and set it up. No. Okay, I remember how it's got. My partner, Smooth the Jug Man. Shout out to Smooth, super dope battle rapper. He was over there instigating some shit. Smooth like to put shit together. So he was instigating some shit, and he was over there talking my name to Marley, saying some stuff to Marley. So when they was together, Marley called me on Facebook Messenger and was like, bro, what's up? I'm like, what you talking about? He was like, you saying you will battle me? And I'm like, hold on, bro, I don't remember saying that, but you calling me acting like I'm scared or something. Like, what the fuck you mean? Like, what's up? What you want to do? And he was like, what you want to do? I said, well, set a date. It's on. So we set it, and I believe we set the date for March 7th. And, y'all saw the outcome. It's all good, I feel like I beat Shorty. I feel like 90% of the town feel like I beat him. There was 1 or 2 cats that thought he did something, which made it debatable, I guess. But it was my first battle back in the new era. Mm-hmm. After I can't even watch that battle now. When I look at that battle now, I fumbled, and man, that shit was terrible. Now I haven't lost yet. This will be battle number 5 coming up.
Okay, so who do we go to next then? Who do you battle after Molly Park?
After Molly Park, I got your boy Buford.
Buford.
Yeah.
William Buford.
Which I
SK
cooked
Bird
his
Flu.
ass. I cooked his ass.
Yeah, I just don't think Buford is ready for the. No offense, I know he likes to give me a hard time and critique me, and I would critique him and say that his presence, his delivery, he's just not ready for the battle rap world. That would be my
too soft in the ass, too light in the ass for that.
Well, that's one way of saying it. So who were the 3rd and 4th then?
The third
Because
one
I'm
was
unaware.
The third one was this cat over in the BBMC League, the Battleborn MCs League, named Joker J. I beat him. I really personally, man, if you ask me, I haven't lost a round yet. That's how I feel. And my last battle, I 90'd the nigga. Like,
Right? You
I
90 them.
90'd them. I 30'd them in every round.
330'd him?
330'd
Okay,
them.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
All right.
90'd that cat, which is my homeboy. Shout out to Teddy B, man. He do a lot for the kids, and I actually donated to the soccer team and all that shit.
Cool. Cool.
So, what's up?
Cool. All right. So from battle rap, so you're ongoing still with battle rap.
Yeah, I got a battle coming up, and then Push Your Luck. I guess he want to push his motherfucking luck and try it. You know what I'm saying? And after seeing what I saw with Marley, he better go in the lab.
People tell me that was his first battle, and Marley Park, if nothing else, his pregame is par excellence, and
Yes.
he looks and feels and breathes the part of a battle rapper during the battle. Who do you think won between Push Your Luck and Marley Park? It's a tough call.
I haven't watched the entire battle.
Okay.
Only saw the first round, and the first round to me was up for grabs. I think the punch rate was hella low in the battle. But I will say this. Shout out to Push for making it debatable and him being his first battle. Dude is a good MC. He's a very good MC. And he a real good dude too. You know what I'm saying? So I want to shout him out. I think Park's biggest mistake is to keep taking these battles in front of non-battle rap people. He's a pure battle rapper, and he needs to be in front of a battle rap crowd. He needs to come over in the lane, and I'm playing in down the BBMC lane or down one of these conferences where there are actual battle rappers who understand what the cadence is that he's doing, to understand why so many gun bars are there, to understand why he does what he does. His style ain't for regular people standing around. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, battle rap is it's a sophisticated taste. It's not for everybody.
Right, and battle rappers are some of the most intelligent people in the world. So the average man don't watch enough current events and don't do what us battle rappers do. So when you say some slick shit, it'll go way over somebody's head because they don't understand what the fuck you saying. So a lot of those bars that Push and Marley were saying, the intricacies of them, I understand, but the crowd that was there was only oohing on for the shit that they can pick up on.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with Tone. I'd be interested to see a rematch, and I'd be, you know, for the sake of us all. I mean, cameras were overheating left and right. Let's have it inside in an air conditioned building.
I'm glad.
And I agree with what you're saying. Let's have a more battle rap audience attend to give a more authentic view and a more authentic reaction. You know, that's battle rap, man. I appreciate your love of battle rap. I'm over hopefully retired from rapping completely, but I do love battle rap. I appreciate the courage, the strength, the comedic skills. It's basically all forms of entertainment kind of wrapped up in one. And you're very true. You have to be pretty smart and have a great memory, and your even improv skills. Push Your Luck had a rebuttal.
Word. I didn't get a chance to see it.
No, it was in the second or third round. I can't remember. So, you know, all of that is just to get up in front of people and have the audacity to say, you know, I believe in what I'm getting ready to say so much, I'm going to say it in front of you with no music and all of that.
Right.
You know, it's a huge thing, man. I love battle rap, and I appreciate it. That's why the New News is out there covering a great community event that LMG put on.
Was you Swerve 360 or Dan Rather Smoke out there?
I was Dan Rather Smoke Weed, Walter Crownwright out there.
Okay, all right.
Swerve 360 had a joke about Gnaw, and so he's been hiding lately. We only let Walter Crownwright come out in the street. I will say that you know, a couple people asked me on the side about the joke, and but everybody was cool. OG Stick I spoke to, and Jay Classic. There was a lot of rappers, Big Doobie. Everybody was out there, and some people got the joke, some people didn't. Let's move on.
Right. Okay. Go.
So now you've got battle rap, you've got rock rap group. One thing before we totally leave Bionic Jive, was it hard getting respect from the traditional hip hop community being involved in a rock rap band? Was that such another lane that they didn't? How did the regular Mill Ave or the regular hip hop community, because it's such a big monument, but it is a big monument in another lane. How did they react to you being signed to Interscope and being in the rock rap lane, the hip hop?
I think that people originally took to rock music the way I originally took to rock music. When I first heard my boy Akko doing it, I was like, man, what the fuck is this shit? This shit crazy. But then when I got behind those live instruments, I was like, oh shit, that's the best feeling in the world. So I think most people felt that way until they saw it. And then when people started to see it, they started to catch on to it. And we were so big in this town, bro. That's why when people say, show me some video of you rocking like, such and such. And I'm like, bro, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was no problem. I think when we were on the road, people would hear the instruments and be like, there's some rock group on here with Nas? Like, what the fuck? And then as soon as we started, and they see a black man screaming and
I was
jumping.
going to say, does it help to have black guys in the group?
Oh,
to
yeah,
be a rock band
definitely,
opening up for Nas?
Definitely. Obviously. If it was white guys, the rapping would have looked probably fugazi. Right. To the people back then.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then whatever.
No, we feel that pain.
Okay.
We feel that pain. What I'm gonna, just like we started with the hip hop, this reinvention that is pretty incredible as a man of a certain age who is struggling to find something else to do to sustain his creative nature. Having done just about, other than getting signed to a major label, I've played a lot of parts in hip hop and I love it. And this is just another part I'm playing. What brought you to hypnosis? Because that is another whole lane. Pardon my French, especially for a black guy. We're not really used to seeing that. May be part of your appeal or your attraction. The dichotomy, we're not used to, like the white rapper, the black golfer, the black sniper. We're not used to seeing the black president. Even we're not. This is the age of shaking up the world. This is the age of shaking up the world. We're not traditionally used to the black hypnotist.
Right.
Hypnotist and I've seen some in Arizona. I saw one live at Exodus one night. And we'll talk about, do the hypnotists hang out? Do you know each other, or is that not a thing? And then I've seen them on TV numerous times, a lot of talk shows. They used to be big on the talk shows.
Yeah.
And hypnotists are usually white men that seem to, I don't want to disrespect you or anybody else, white men that seem to have learned hypnotist to have sex with women.
Yes. I second that.
Do you ever go to conventions? I know you may not hang regularly with hypnotists, but do y'all go, like dentists and the rappers, DJs, everything else? Everybody's got a convention. Do y'all go to conventions?
Yeah, we do. We go to Hypno Thoughts Live. I go to pretty much all the conventions in Vegas, whether it's Vegas, St. Louis, Chicago. I hang with 4 or 5 hypnotists on the regular. Here I've taught. From the beginning of the pandemic up to now, I've taught 85 hypnotists because I teach hypnosis.
Incredible. I've got some friends that want to talk to you, I think, and learn how.
That's what's up. Noah Wright is one of my students.
Okay.
And Noah's very good. You know what I'm saying? Noah's very good.
Can anyone do it?
Anybody.
Can you teach anyone to do it?
Yes, anybody.
Are there certain traits about people that make them better at it? Athletes can be tilted one way.
Nah.
No?
Just somebody like you would be.
Is it like cooking? If you follow the recipe and do what you're told, it's at the end of the day. In the end of the day, you're gonna have a cake.
You're gonna have a cake, yeah. And then some people are just natural bakers. So
I would imagine personality would have to help.
Personality definitely helps. Also, like somebody like you, for instance. Somebody who.
Wait a minute, I started looking at you too long. I feel like you're starting to work your shit. I'm gonna look away while you talk about me. Go ahead.
Somebody like you though who has to be up in front of people all the time that's not afraid to do things in front of people.
I'm used to that. Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So somebody like you would be a great hypnotist because your confidence wouldn't be up for compromise. Most new people in this game, they don't even really be in front of people.
They say it's the toughest thing. And some people fear speaking in front of a crowd more than death, or it's either one or two to death.
Yeah, yeah.
So people fear it. So that's the biggest part of this is
That's
getting
one
over
of
your
my
fear.
biggest sessions, actually.
Just getting people. You work with people to get over their fear of public speaking.
Yeah, I'm clinically certified as a hypnotherapist.
You're clinically certified.
Yes.
So, and we're just diving into this, but I love it. So you can help people like stop smoking.
I do that every day.
You can help people with bad habits or things like that of the mind.
I'm a transpersonal hypnotherapist, so fears, phobias, and addictions is what I specialize in.
Okay.
Today I did anxiety and depression. Yesterday I did nail biting. The day before that I did fear of flying. And I work with a lot of PTSD people. I do a lot of smoking. I'm actually under hypnosis right now myself for weight loss. So I got hypnotized.
Someone you went to one of your friends.
Yes,
Someone
one
else
of my
has to.
friends
You
gave me
can't
a
do it to
session.
yourself.
Well, you can, but I would rather, I could DJ myself, but I'd rather come see you.
Right. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Let me ask you. I imagine maybe it's like getting a massage. I can rub my back, but it's
Right.
much better if a professional or somebody else does it for me.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this question because I'm very enthusiastic and curious about this. Now, I wanted to have you on the old show to see if one, do you think, two questions, and dealing mainly with white folks. One, do you think you could hypnotize racism out of someone?
Yes.
Wow, that's deep. Could you get started? How much do we need to pay you to get
We
working?
can definitely get started. If I can make you forget the most nearest, dearest thing to yourself, which is your name, I could take anything out your body.
Now, could you help me understand? Help me understand the logic of that. Like, can you give us any insight into technically what are you doing if you were to say make me not want to smoke cigarettes or not want to make memes about gnaw anymore? How would you what are you technically doing to my brain while I'm under hypnosis? Are you helping me to forget that part of my brain? Or are you can you give us any insight in that direction?
It's just the power of suggestion. Suggestion is very powerful. Your subconscious mind is 88% of your brain's behavior. Your conscious mind is only the 12%. So the brain that you think you walk around here, that you think you so smart with, that got all the useless facts, and you might know algebra more than the next person, and you might know calculus, and you probably can get on Jeopardy and kill it, and blah, blah, blah. None of that matters because all our brains function the same.
I like the way you're talking.
Yeah, the functionality of our brains are the same. And when you talk to a person's subconscious mind, you can affect the change. If you've ever been driving on the freeway,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you pass your exit, like, what the fuck? Or you pulled up in your driveway and you thought, how the fuck did I just get here?
I used to drive regularly. I went to college in North Carolina, and from my home in Virginia to North Carolina, it was about a 2.5 hour journey.
Right.
I did that so much, many times, maybe even in the same day, but definitely over a weekend. I would go home for the weekend or whatever.
Right.
I did that drive so much, many days. I knew the journey. I knew the path so well. Many days, it would seem like I got into some kind of trance or semi-sleep.
Yeah.
But I was awake. I was driving the car consciously. But it would seem like I got into some kind of trance to where time went faster than the 2 hours.
It's called highway hypnotism.
Okay.
Highway hypnotism, when you driving and you see the lines, choo, 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 and they're on time, and they're and after a while, it's like your brain turns around. And now your conscious mind is doing everything that it normally does through muscle memory. You're stopping at red lights, you're yielding, you're signaling, you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. But you're such in deep thought, you're in trance. So what makes people think hypnosis ain't real, because the only baseline for what we do is through Hollywood. People think it's like black magic or voodoo or some stupid mystical
Making
ass
people
shit.
cluck like a chicken.
That's the famous thing.
Or making
and
women,
I make people do
making
that
women
sometimes.
orgasm or whatever.
Making women orgasms is, yeah, that's a good shit.
We'll get to that in a minute, though. Hold on. I don't want to rush on that.
Yeah, but it's just science, and it's the power of suggestion. That's why we're called the American consumer now and not the American citizen, because you're programmed.
Yeah.
It's called television programming, radio programming. You dig what I'm saying? You're programmed.
When I watch certain TV or movies, I can feel my body relax, my breathing change, and we're told that we do get into a certain different trance or mind state when we're watching TV.
And they play music.
I can do a commercial real quick. Would you like to make another drink? Are you good?
No, let's keep rocking. We good.
All right, well, okay, so this hypnosis thing, what led you, I might have skipped you ahead, what led you to just, what got into your mind to say, I can do this, I want to try this? You don't really see a lot of commercials to like, hey, come on down to ASU and learn hypnosis. So what prompted that with you?
Well, psychology and sociology was my major in college, so I was always interested in what the brain does. But I was out on the road, and we were in Vegas. I got some tickets to a hypnosis show. I went to go see this cat named Mark Savard, and when I saw him doing this thing, at first I was like everybody else, like, bro, this shit got to be fake. Like, what the fuck is going on up here? But at the end of the show, he told this chick, from here to the time you walk out of the door, from the stage to the time you walk out of the venue, anybody that shakes your hand, you have an orgasm. Right? So I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. So I said, man, let me go for it. So I beeline to Shorty just to shake her hand. And when she shook my hand, she squeezed my hand so hard. And when I looked her in her eyes, I was like, this bitch is not playing. This is for real. So immediately
that won you over.
That won me over. So right then and there, I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. So then after the road, I came home. I went to a thrift store with one of the chicks I was dating at the time. I went to the book section. First book I pulled out was Learn Hypnosis. So then right then and there, I went to school, enrolled in school, learned how to do that. Thought, okay, the school shit is cool, but I need to know more. I reached out to some military cats out in Fort Hood. One of them agreed to teach me. I flew to Killeen and went and learned the game. You know what I'm saying? And now I am, no bullshit, considered an authority in street hypnosis. And
how long from, it takes 4 years to get a bachelor's degree, maybe another 3 or 4 to get a master's. It took me a good while before I was a confident DJ. Right. How long did it take you from start to like you were pretty, I know it doesn't always work for everybody and there's always good and bad days when you're on stage doing whatever. Right. But before you felt like you were accomplished and pretty confident, I mean, I guess until you struck out and started doing it on the street, you seemed confident. How long did that learning curve, that process?
I started in 2013. I was interested in it since 2011, but I started in 2013 going to school. After school, when I got out on the street, it was like 2014 when I came out of Fort Hood. But then it took me about 6 or 7 months to really get into it because at first I thought if every man and woman and child that stood in front of me had to go down, and if they didn't go down, I wasn't a hypnotist. But then afterwards, when I saw my mentor, we was out hypnotizing, I saw him fail a couple of times. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, so missing is permitted. Right. Oh, okay. Well,
nothing's 100%.
Nothing's 100%. Right. When I figured that out, that's when I started to go. And now, here we are. You can't say hypnosis without knowing who I am. From city to city, from coast to coast, all around the world. Everybody knows who the Brain Bully is because I am one of the only ones that do it how I do it. Everybody else looks the same, they dress the same, they talk the same, they do whatever. I actually have merged hip hop and hypnosis and made it a marriage. So When you see me out on the street, I got the diamonds on. I'm doing my thing. I'm out there, hat to the back. I'm talking crazy like I am hip hop. And I never strayed.
This is another place where, you know, God bless, a black man is taking back some white ownership, some white space.
We are in the killing part.
You're breaking ground. You're breaking ground for black men in a new space, in a new zone.
And I've taught, out of the 85 hypnotists that I've taught, only 3 of them were non-black.
Just because I'm a racist, is there any older hypnotist, any black man that you can look to that's older than you as a hypnotist?
Yes.
Okay.
The guy who taught me, Carlos Pruitt, his name is Mr. P.
Okay.
I look up to him. My style is a mixture of him. This cat named Lenny Moore.
Okay.
Lenny Moore is the original owner of the King of Diamonds, the strip club. He's one of the biggest gats in the game. And there's his other brother out of Detroit called Tonio. He calls himself the Detroit Street Hypnotist.
Now,
I look up to them 3. And Hypno, bro, rest in peace.
Okay. Well, salute to them. We're learning. I had no idea. I thought it was a total creepy white man's game, but I should have known somewhere there was definitely some black men doing it.
The white guys are dope as fuck, too, but, you know, you got
sure.
cats like Milton Erickson, and then you got all these other cats around here. But they run the game because of the marketing skills that they have and how they put shit
now,
down.
not necessarily you, because you're not the only one that does it. It's certainly, like you mentioned, that your first experience was a man that literally made a woman vulnerable to orgasm however many times somebody shook her hand on the way to the door.
Yeah.
Which, although most people agree orgasms feel good and are fun, not all of us would want to have them in a club in front of other people. Certainly not be vulnerable enough to have an orgasm every time somebody shook our hand.
Right.
I have a friend who's a bit of an asshole who, when I told you about him, I told him about you, and I was going to interview you, and he wanted me to ask you, is it a bit rapey? Is it a bit rapey to hypnotize women to orgasm? And do you always tell them that's what's going to happen first, or is it just open to whatever happens? Has anyone ever been mad or disgruntled from being made to orgasm uncontrollably?
No. Okay, so to answer that question,
what's the code of? Is there a code of? And to add on to that, is there a hypnotist code of ethics?
Absolutely. That's the first thing that you take, is a code of ethics. You take that first, because doing anything to a person under hypnosis without them knowing that they're going to be hypnotized is sort of like rape, because you're invading their space, right?
So if they agree to be hypnotized, that's kind of it's kind of a go at that point.
It's kind of a go. But now orgasms are a different thing. You definitely have to get permission for that, because you're actually showing a person's sexual vulnerability out on the street, and that's something that you can't do. You definitely want permission for that. You definitely got to have permission for that. But most of the orgasms...
You check IDs, make sure these women are above age. Is that an issue?
Yeah, if I give you an orgasm, you're definitely above 18. And
I would think that would be a precaution.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Right? Because even with the mind, somehow you might have to be sensitive to this out there in the street. Being a large black man, just making white women fall out and orgasm, you got to really cover your bases.
You got to be covered. Yeah.
You got to cover your
That's
bases.
why everything is on video.
Right. Them agreeing to whatever.
Yeah, them agreeing.
You telling them whatever. Them
you don't see
to
all
whatever.
that part on the video.
Right, but if it's needed, it's recorded.
Yes, absolutely.
Do these people have to sign? People talk about signing waivers and stuff. I haven't started doing that, obviously, for my show yet. People agree to come on. I assume that they agree that we're going to talk or whatever. Do you get people to sign releases for the Instagram videos and stuff like that?
Nope.
You get a verbal. Like, is it
because
cool?
they asked for it.
Right.
That's what hypnotized me.
Have you had anybody that had enjoyed the experience for whatever reason, not sexual, just whatever reason?
Yeah, I have.
And what was their problem? What was their beef?
Because a lot of times people...
In full honesty, there's no reason to be...
Well, no, a lot of times people think hypnosis is a cure. So they be like, I thought you was gonna cure me from smoking.
Oh, I see from that standpoint.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I can't cure you from smoking. You have chemicals running in your body. You got chemicals that you got to fight off. I can help you manage the cravings. I can help you manage, what we do is management, weight management, pain management, anger management. It's management. It's not a cure. I can't cure you from anything. So you're going to get that. And sometimes people get injured and you're not knowing that they're going to be injured, because
Sure.
you're hypnotizing somebody in the middle of the circle. A couple of people on the outside of the circle are secretly watching and they're paying real close attention.
Paying too close attention.
Right.
To
And then when you say sleep,
they
three
go.
people over there fall. Hit their head, do some
Collateral
crazy shit like
damage
that.
is what the military
Definitely,
calls that. Collateral damage.
So on our stage shows, what we do is I tell people, hey, after I say the word sleep, if anybody go to sleep in the audience, don't be alarmed. Just let them lay there, raise your hand. I'm going to come and get them. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been paying attention.
Now, this is going to sound incredibly racist, but is there ever any second thought about maybe putting the whole crowd out and robbing everybody?
No. But I have had preachers and people call me to help, do shit like that. I have preachers call me to hypnotize congregations. I had a bunch of preachers in Africa reach out to me.
The end of the month's coming and we're a little short. EMERG, could you come down here and help the plate pass?
I've had preachers from Africa hit me up to come down to do healing and all of that old kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, okay, preachers from Africa. All right, incredible. What has been the highlights and what has been some of the downsides of hypnotists? What's the good part? What's the bad part? Because to me, in every job, there's there's highlights or good things about it that you wouldn't have expected, or most people might not even realize. And then every job, no matter how great a job it is, it has a downside at some point.
Well, the downside is honestly the racism. That's the downside of it.
Well, I'm sorry for whatever I said tonight.
No, it's not you. It's a lot of the older guys in hypnosis, they just don't want to see it evolve in a certain way.
Sure. Sounds familiar.
Definitely does. A lot. But my issue is we're not attacking the purity of the game. Actually, we're protecting the purity.
Is it strictly about your persona, your appearance, or is it about the way you do hypnosis?
It's definitely about my appearance because I don't do anything differently that they do. But they have this rule like, when you on stage, you should dress better than the audience. I stick to that rule, but I'm not in the fucking tuxedo, nigga. I want to be comfortable when I hypnotize. Right. I'm coming out here in my, my fresh kicks and my jeans or my sweats and a nice shirt, my jewelry on, hat to the back, everything new. I'm still fresher than everybody.
Do you do like when I saw it was like at a venue and there was a stage and he did a show. Do you do it in that format or are you strictly like out on the street?
I do it multiple formats, whatever the people want. Like the tour that I got coming up is a mixture of both.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I imagine the on the street gives me that, that David Blaine feel. It gives me that live, like, people don't necessarily know what's coming, or you catch them like at an event where they're there to gamble, they're there to go to this concert, and next thing you know, you're making. I watched one of your videos. It was a younger girl with the boots, that kind of look, and the red hair, and you made her fall out a couple times, and you even did like a little dribble trick with her. You're like, everything's cool. Sleep, made her fall asleep again, and I kind of peeped the white people like mingling behind, like, is this little white girl okay? She keeps falling into this big black man. What's going on over here? Is there ever issues? I was gonna say, is there ever issues about people that don't understand, what's happening, and they just see like white women falling out for you like Elvis, and it may be confusing to them
all the time, bro. Like I can't even go into Arizona Mill. Security get right on me. Because, you get people laying down and then you get motherfuckers running over. I know CPR. I got this. I'll be like, back up.
Wow.
Back up. She's hypnotized. Well, what do you mean? Just chill, relax. I got this. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you get that all the time. People don't understand hypnosis. And then when Get Out came out.
Right.
Oh, my Lord, bro. When I was in Alabama,
That movie was deep. Go ahead, break down your
when
story.
I was in Alabama, they was serving me drinks with their eyes, hands over their eyes like this. And I'm like,
They were
bitch,
scared of the magic, the black hoodoo magic.
shorty, I am not Superman. I'm not for to shoot lasers out my damn eyes. You know what I'm saying? So relax. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah. Well, you know, in Get Out, it was those evil white hypnotist people.
It was, but that scene was.
I mean, that movie hit on a lot of levels. And,
Yeah. That scene was dope. It was real too.
I think the people in the movie theater, when I watch Get Out, my wife can attest to this. We went to see it in the movie theater, and I love the movie, but I don't know what it says about my personality. I laughed through most of it. I was dying laughing. I was dying laughing, and I was making my wife uncomfortable because she was worried that the other black people wouldn't understand. No, I said the other black people. I'm not black. She was worried that the black people in the theater wouldn't understand why I was laughing. And
you have a sarcastic personality, so you know.
Well, for example, when they had when they just flashed to a scene when they first got to the house, and dude was cutting the grass, and it was like one of those southern, like not like Arizona, it was like where I'm from, like just a huge,
plantation type,
just like a huge ass lawn, and dude was cutting the grass with like either a push mower or like and I just recognized that immediately, and I cracked up laughing because I was like, they making him cut the fucking lawn with a, you know, like that big. Most people would have a tractor or some shit like I don't know. Anyway, my wife got uncomfortable because I think I made people uncomfortable because it was a bit of a suspenseful. It was a bit of a scary at times. It was a bit of a tragic movie in certain ways, but yet my dark sense of humor, I laughed through most of it.
Okay, I ain't mad at you.
We're going over this hypnotist, and I really admire you for rebranding yourself. And it seems like you found TikTok, which is the next level and the place to be for you.
They just kicked me off though.
They kicked you. I can only imagine what those billions and billions of Chinese people that watch TikTok think about the dark evil man making people fall asleep.
Right.
You've branded yourself, and now you have become a brand ambassador for Ice Cream Cannabis of California or Nevada.
Ice Cream Cannabis of California, and Old California Farms.
Okay.
I work for both of them.
Okay. And I've seen you've had copious amounts. You've said you've talked about how you have copious amounts of ice cream cannabis laying around. Just I don't know if you brought any tonight, but there's always hope in my heart. I do have some. You know, I'm always looking to try some. I got some cash, some promos.
I got you.
However it's gonna work out, that's all good. To me, being a hip hop lover, to being an older man who looks at these influencers and these modern day YouTubers, to me as a cannabis lover, did I say that already? I think so. To me as now a podcaster, a bit of the dream is the coveted marijuana dispensary, THC company sponsorship, brand ambassadorship, if you were.
Right.
That's where you found yourself now. Please help me and tell your story a little bit. You don't have to give away any secrets, but how did this happen? How did you come across this brand? How did they come across you? How did you broker this deal to become a brand, if not the Arizona brand ambassador? I put the logo up.
I appreciate it.
I put the logo up on the screen because I want you and them to see how much I am a good Geechee, how I can do things that need to be done for a great sponsor. And you know, I'd love to be in touch with anyone out there, these great THC companies that need to reach a hip-hop market, which, by the way, 90% of the hip-hop market enjoys marijuana products. So
90% of every
It's
market.
a great market to touch base with. You know, I know my brother is of the hippie generation, and they love the wacky tobacco as well.
Right.
I'm going to shut up now and have a tote. How did you come across this ice cream brand ambassador or sponsorship type arrangement you have going on?
Shout out to my brother, Mark DiCarlo, which is the former owner of the Big Fish Pub, which was in Tempe, was a staple here and for music, for live music here in Arizona. He left to go to California. Mark was one of Chester Benefield's best friends. from Lincoln Park.
Okay. R.I.P.
And yeah, RP to Chester. Me and Mark, man, we you know we've been doing business together and having a real good understanding for years. And now he runs this situation over there,
Oh,
and
okay.
he you know the people over there was like, yo, we like what this dude is doing, and he like, yo, if you like what he's doing, that's one of my friends. Like, I can call this guy. So he hit me up, and now I fly privately, bro. I'll be on the private jet. You know what I'm
Talk your
saying?
shit.
Flying, I'm flying
Talk your
around.
shit. Talk your shit. Talk your
I'll
shit,
be on the
Emergent,
private
man.
jet flying around,
These bum ass rappers and trolls and media is out here stealing ideas and trying to struggle for life, and you on the private jet.
I'm on the private jet,
Talk
man.
your shit.
Flying
With a bag full of free weed.
Bag full of free weed. I get
On the
weed,
private jet.
On the private jet.
Going
man.
to events.
Yeah.
You probably just gotta hypnotize 10, 20 people and you good for the weekend.
Yo, I fly to LA, go do my thing, go hypnotize, do all of that, and then I get back on the jet with a bag full of weed, come on back home, and But I ain't nobody around here, man. I'm just my little dirty ass ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Yeah,
Well,
but
I
and
can
the weed is
understand
fine.
if I can, you start talking about POD and Sublime and Sting and some of the Pearl Jam to some of these people, they're not gonna understand where you were at. And it was a part in time that the younger people, if they weren't involved, they just won't understand. And for a lot of us that haven't lived that dream of getting signed to a major label or just having a lawyer and a bunch of people in our corner working for us, we don't understand that life. So
Right.
I guess I would give people the benefit of the doubt for that reason. It's hard to understand.
Right.
And if you've never had a piece of it, it's hard to get a grasp on the whole picture of it
Right.
that you experienced. Now, what do you think that you're a long-time veteran of the scene? You've been to the top of the mountaintop. You've come back down, reinvented yourself a couple times. You're on the climb. You're right back on the getting ready to hit. Get on the way up again up the mountaintop. What from all of this? What have you learned? What would you boil down your experience and advice to people that are seeking places that you've been and are currently going? And what would if you could boil that down and give people some advice, what would that be?
I would say, man, the key to this shit is being a doer. Gotta be a doer, man. You could talk a motherfucker to death because you got free nights and weekends, but that shit don't mean nothing. I got a few sayings in the game right now, and one is, if you can't be about it, be the fuck without it. Be without it. Get out the way, because there's people out here that really give a shit about what they do. If you ain't in it, you in the motherfucking way. Get out the way. You dig what I'm saying? And boss up or get bossed around. Point blank. You know what I mean? Everybody want to follow suit. And I ain't never followed suit. I was rapping when it was corny to be a rapper.
I can dig that.
I was rapping when people on the streets be like, who's this rapping motherfucker? That. And then when everybody started wanting to rap, I started trying to get a record deal. And then when gangsters got into doing what we do, because gangsters and MCing wasn't the same. But then when NWA came, gangsters started wanting to rap, gangbangers and shit, pimps and all kind of other motherfuckers started wanting to be MCs. When that happened, boom, I went to rock music. And then when rock music did what it was supposed to do for me, and then Bionic Jive birthed a whole nation of baby bands out there. Dude, I got cover bands in Singapore, singing my music in Germany, different websites that's Bionic Jive cover bands, shit like that. But when people start doing that, I turned that off, went to DJing, got behind the music. Once I got behind the music and seeing how that was going, and now I realized that people only understand what young people do, and I understand that this music thing is a young man's sport, I had to reinvent myself again. So I like to play in lanes that are not clogged up, because I understand that on the road to success, the extra mile don't have traffic jams. It don't. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
You can stay over there with all the rest of them motherfuckers and keep talking that shit and keep being stagnant and keep letting motherfuckers who ain't did shit tell you what to do. Go ahead. But I'm going to tell you over here in the HOV lane, we moving. Ain't no traffic jams over here. Where everybody bumper to bumper, we over here. There's a couple of us in the car that understand the theory, and we riding together and we gone. So you sit over there by yourself and wait 45 minutes to get 15 feet, and we'll be 2 hours down the road until you get there, because experience is the best teacher. And you don't go on a job that I've been at for 30 years, and you've been here for 5 years, and you tell me what don't work. And I'm training you. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you don't. So, and that's where we at with this next installment of the interview that we're about to go to, is the no main vocal shit.
You read my mind. It's where we're at. We've been through the whole thing, and here we are. Why is no main vocals the way other people perform? Why is that so important? You get so passionate about it.
Well, it's because of this, man. What people don't understand is everything that's going on in hip hop has always been going on in hip hop.
True.
There are so many versions of Yante that was here before him. And as far as the purists of the game, us, we've always made exceptions for people like that. There's always been an MC Hammer. There was always a Digital Underground. There was always a Vanilla Ice. Not saying that he's those guys, but what I'm saying, though, there were always entertainers in hip-hop.
Sure.
But for every entertainer that was allowed to do his thing, there were some purists that was on your head. So example, Hammer. Some of the most famous white rappers in the world, Third Base made the song Gas Face, was a diss to him. Shout out to Daddy Rich, who lives here in the Valley right now.
No. Whoa. Stop right there. We're going to come back to your point. I'm sorry. Daddy Rich, the DJ from Third Base, lives in this valley?
Lives here in the Valley. Daddy Rich was my DJ for a few years. Daddy Rich lives right here in Mesa with you.
Man.
Right now. And I could plug you with that. That's my boy.
If I could. I
appreciate the legendary Daddy Rich.
Please, one of the people I looked up to as a DJ, learning tricks and everything. Go ahead, but please go ahead with your story.
MC Search and Pete Nice was on Hammer's head.
Yes.
Anything that Vanilla Ice was doing, every MC was on his head.
Yes.
But that's not to say that he didn't sell records. That's not to say he didn't entertain. That's not to say he wasn't good at his craft. What he did is just that back then, giving away what we do to other people was a no-no. And EPMD made a song called The Crossover. Keep the crossover. We didn't want that. But it's here now. Okay, cool. So
yeah, we're well beyond those.
We're well beyond those paths. So now it's important to me because I've took every scrape, bump, scratch, every accolade, every trophy. I've had every single thing that you can imagine happened to me in this game, and I've never put the mic down. And here it is, from 1981 to 2021, I still have not dropped the mic.
40 years.
40 years. And the microphone has paid my bills. It took care of my kids. It put kids through college. It got me my 3 cars. It got me my house in Scottsdale. It got me the Rolexes on my wrist. It got me everything that I want with the accolades. And tomorrow, guess what? I go pick that motherfucker right back up and get to work. So what I'm saying is, all I'm telling people is this. And this, Swerve, this is the point that I want to make. These motherfuckers around here act like I'm telling people to do something that's going to harm their career. That's the shit that's fucking with me. Everything that I'm saying will only make you better. It's not going to damage nothing you doing. It's just going to add an element to your shit. But because niggas like to argue, and because niggas are scared to do it, and because motherfuckers want to be stagnant, and because motherfuckers think that, okay, I'm rocking like this right now. Yeah, you are rocking like this right now. But guess what? Hip hop is bigger than the spot that Pesto is shows at, or it's bigger than what you used to DJ at the big room over there on the west side, or it's bigger than the sound stage that Poke Face just put together. It's bigger than that. Hip hop stretches across the globe. So if you're trying to be a global entity, you got to be able to adjust and adapt to all things. And all I'm saying is add a layer to your shit. You ain't got to present it to the world right away. Just go practice it. Get your shit together. Come back out. Try something. You mastered vocals already. You got that. You good.
It's a good point, and you highlighted how some of the AZ media made a big deal, made it a young versus old thing. Why is AZ, the Facebook community, the hip hop community, the media community, why are we involved and enthralled by such fuck shit?
Well, because everybody's trying to get the views and shit like that. And when you talking to a motherfucker who got them, when you talking to a motherfucker who got everything that everybody's trying to do.
Yeah.
I can go live right now and put 180 people on my screen right now. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Once you talking to a motherfucker who do it, everybody's trying to get there. So niggas is tripping and crawling all over each other trying to get those views. And a motherfucker like Tone, who I fucked with, which I was stupid enough to because his shit is called The Hatrix. It's about hating shit. And how the fuck can you fix your mouth to say pay your legends and disrespect one?
That's a good point.
How you gonna say pay your legends and disrespect one, bro? You may not like me as an individual. You may not like my views on shit. You may hate my music, but you can't take away what I've done.
You've clearly checked the boxes and been places other people have not made it to.
Right, exactly. And you can't take away what I've done.
So you have to respect that.
You have to respect that. So you're talking about pay your legends. Pay your motherfucking legends, dude. Don't use the word hating for ratings up against my name. Because that ain't what it is. Because you took a picture of me as a flyer with a Yenom shirt on. I'm sitting here right now with a Got Bill's hat on. You feel what I'm saying? I just took off my realism slides to come in here. Mm-hmm. You dig what I'm saying? I fucks with the community. Mm-hmm. I was on Icon Radio before anybody over there.
Yeah.
Bam. I was on the radio station before any of these motherfuckers. I'm the creator of the Blunt Club. That's me. I did that. I was hosting the Mason Jar, hosting shit before any of these motherfuckers. I was doing all of this shit before any of these niggas. So when I'm telling the community that I love where I'm at, I love Arizona hip hop. Let's take this shit to the next level, y'all. I always say it's so much dope music running around this motherfucker. It's so many dope ass artists. But why we gotta come see everybody be sheep? Don't nobody want to be better than the next man. Don't nobody want to get great. Don't nobody want to do this. But this ain't gonna be the argument, swear. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be all the bullshit to say why they don't want to try it. To all the bullshit to say why they don't want to try it. Yet, I could preach some shit. But I can see DJ I get on some motherfucking shit and tell niggas what they need to do all the motherfucking time. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Very stern opinions.
Someone who doesn't rap, by the way.
Someone who doesn't rap. She's a DJ though. You know what I'm saying? So, my thing is this. Kinda. My thing is this. You can hate her approach all you want to. Mm-hmm. But a great number of times, the shit she's saying is real.
True.
You can't argue the fact.
She speaks her mind.
She does. Now, you might want to be mad because she said shit the way she said it. But I mean,
or maybe she said it publicly. You know, sometimes people get upset when something that's true hits home and it's said publicly.
Right. Okay. So all of that is at the end of the day is still the truth.
Right.
So what the fuck are we 12 or are we gonna be musicians? Because the lane that I put, a lot of these cats don't know what the game is like on the inside of the door. They can only speculate what it's like inside here. They're playing from the outside, and from the outside, you don't know what it's like. You don't know how they talk to you over here. Weak ass niggas, they will crush your motherfucking ego in 3 seconds, and you won't be able to write a bar for 4 months. Your motherfucking ego will be damaged. The way these executives will talk to you after they spending their money. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck up and go be better. It's not like you're not good now. I enjoy some of the shit that I see, but that's why I be pissed. Like, bro, the music is dope. Get your hype, man. Get out there. Get right. I just want niggas to strive for greatness.
You pretty much summed up that you were the energy, the pretty much maybe you rapped more than a hype man, but you were kind of the hype man energy of Bionic Jive.
I was, yeah.
And, you know, there's been many great hype men from Flavor Flav to
Spliff Star.
You know, Spliff Star.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
people that it defined their career. What is that why people are, because the hype man was a part of the live performance that was basically a live version of your ad-lib.
Your ad-libs, yes.
He was there to add energy in places. He was there to catch a word if you needed a breath.
He was there to give you a
But
breath.
just like on the show, Dave that deals with Lil Dicky, his hype man is very good and always full of energy, always on point, always knows the lyrics. Are we in an era where we're missing? Has the hype man died? Are we missing good hype men? And is that the reason why artists want to perform more with their lyrics?
The hype man has not died because these niggas still got 50 million dancers in a big old band.
Yeah, it's people on stage. It's people on stage,
but
and it's other rappers. But
practicing has died.
Rehearsing
has died.
Someone who's willing to let their ego go and be submissive to the lead rapper and be a hype. I've been a hype man before. When I was in a group called Onslaught, Phenom Kenny Parker was the lead of the group. I caught some verses, but I was, like you say, the live performance. I was the energy. I was the hype.
Right.
Now I think with everybody wanting to be the centerpiece, or if they know they can't be the centerpiece, I'm too cool to even be a part of it, I'm just going to be in the crew or whatever. Have we lost where no one really wants to dedicate themselves to being the hype man anymore?
You know what? I really don't know what that's about. It could be, it could not be. I just know that in this lottery mentality generation that we live in this world of instant gratification, in this 15-second attention span shit, that's why they did away with Vine. Vine, you could only make videos for 6 seconds.
Right.
They was like, nah, that's shortening people's attention span too much. Get that shit out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In this 15-second attention span shit, everybody wants instant gratification. And now that people don't have to go seek out shit, because you used to have to go to the studio. Now a nigga can go buy a rig, put it in the living room, make a song, finish it, upload it, and sell it. You didn't need anybody. You needed other motherfuckers. So
they barely rehearse to record it.
Dog, these motherfuckers don't do shit. They don't even know their music.
Is the lack of preparation and rehearsal, is that just the issue? Because I firmly believe if you put on a good show and people go away entertained, it really doesn't matter how you do it. I believe, like you talked about DJing earlier, the DJ I look up to, DJ Red Alert, the one I really learned from by listening to his tapes.
Right.
He said that a DJ is a DJ no matter what tools they use, as long as they're playing good records and making people happy, they're a DJ. So I don't put a qualification on it per se as far as what equipment you use. If you're doing your job as a DJ, I look up and respect you because it's a tough job.
Right.
Now on a certain level, like I would never look at someone like you, a DJ and challenge you on a hip hop DJ level because I know that's not your background or that's not your place.
Right, exactly.
That would only and people that have that background, I look more at as comrades than competition.
Yes, exactly.
So there's all that's really no place to me. But I guess what I'm saying is, if someone like, to me, Yante gives so much physical energy and so much flipping and somersaulting and dancing and jumping around. If he doesn't spit every single word, I'm willing to give him a pass, because at the end of his show, I am entertained.
Right. He's the anomaly.
He's the exception to the rule.
He's the anomaly. And I said that. He's the anomaly. Because of this, he actually cares about putting on a great show.
Yes.
He actually gives a fuck.
That's the key that I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
And whether he rehearsed with his crew or not, he has put on his socks or Vans or whatever and jumped around the living room or in the backyard
doing his thing.
He's practiced all that somewhere else.
Now, all I'm saying about him is this, though. As great as you are like this, imagine what you could be if you tried to add a layer. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Everything that I'm saying doesn't make you not sell records. It doesn't damage your credibility. It only makes you better. Why the fuck would he listen to any of these motherfuckers telling him, you're great like that, stay like that? Stagnation is the new crack, bro. Sit there and be stagnant if you want to. And guess what's going to happen next year? Because you know what happens with art? It's imitated. It's going to be 5 Yantis next year.
Yeah.
Doing flips, doing all that shit.
Yeah.
And they're going to be giving just as good a performance. They're going to have just as good a records, because it always happens. When you lay the blueprint, Michael Jordan was the shit. But then here come Kobe, the exact replica, right? There's always going to be great people. So there's going to be 5 Yantes, because he's birthing a generation right now. It's going to be a bunch of them niggas running around here. Now what do? How do you separate yourself? How do you become? So now, because everybody's watching, everybody's mentioning him, he got to be proactive, not reactive. He got to think, shit, I got to take this shit to superstardom. And anybody that tells him that what I'm saying right there is wrong, he need to remove them away from him. Because just like this sign, it can be crooked if you want to, but guess where that motherfucker pointed? Up. You dig what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I respect the little homie. And I'm pushing for him to be a super fucking star. Hip hop is bigger than the few stages that allow motherfuckers to rock around here. And it's bigger than the people that hype for you. And it's bigger than the people that are saying you are whatever you are. I've been there. I know what it's like to be him. I know what it's like to be that guy in the town. I was him. But all of these other motherfuckers that's around here saying, oh, well, why you say that about him? That's why I'm so mad at Tone right now. Because this nigga had the nerve to agree with me one week and then to take his podcast from 33 niggas live to 37, you want to say my name. That's bogus. When you know I've had a conversation with him and DJ I on his show while I was walking through the mall. And I said all of this shit. This is about being great. That's all it is. But then you got motherfuckers like Network that say, well, maybe it was your approach. Maybe you need to say the shit a different way.
The delivery, yeah.
The delivery. But then a motherfucker can get on their Facebook and deliver some shit raw as hell and get 1,000 likes and everybody like cheer, hooray, 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 hooray. No, change your approach then. You know? I even seen Tone make a fucking post the other day about integrity. And I'm like, nigga, what? Your shit is about hating. Pay your motherfucking legends, nigga. And I'm serious about that, bro, because that's bogus. I fucked with dude. He hurt my motherfucking feelings, man, with that shit. Because I'm a supporter of the cause. I'm out here falling on the sword, becoming the enemy of the town, when niggas won't support nothing I got going on, because I'm out here telling everybody do better. Fuck that. And the reason why niggas is mad is because, and I mean this shit, bro, you got a problem with it for real? See me on stage. No fighting, no gangster shit, none of that fake thug wannabe fight you shit.
Just a couple swings of the watch and it's
let's go battle. Let's go battle because
Tone don't want to rap no more. Tone's not a rapper.
Man, listen, I'm gonna say this.
He makes jokes about rapping. He don't want to rap.
Everything that any of these motherfuckers I can do, but everything I do, they can't. And that's truth. I can DJ, I can podcast, I can host, I can rhyme, I can do everything that any of these motherfuckers do. I ran a chair on a radio station. I did all of that.
To me, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And to me, that's one of the basic principles of hip hop is that I can do what you can do. Can you do what I can do? And if you can't do what I can do, then I'm better and you need to respect me.
Not to mention I'm a graffiti writer.
Okay.
It's for the writers, the breakers, the DJs, and the MCs.
Well, I'm glad your cover looks the way it does. And
that's why I loved it when I seen it. I was like, okay, check it out.
Are we just old and washed?
Never.
Is that why we feel the way we do? That because I have to, with all due respect, respectfully to everybody, I have to be tolerant. I have to be humble. When people call me a guest that haven't DJ'd for the amount of people I've DJ'd for, they haven't put on the amount of shows I put on, they haven't created the amount of flyers I have, they haven't recorded or dealt with as many artists as I have.
Right.
But yet simply on race alone, I have to accept being a guest to some people in hip hop.
Absolutely.
And these people, for the most part, a lot of times can't do what I can do.
Right.
And haven't done what I've done, even though what I've done is modest in comparison, especially to someone like you. Let me say that.
Okay.
But it is frustrating to me, and I feel like you feel the same way.
I do. You know what I'm saying? As far as addressing that, when Eminem said he was a guest, that made everybody white a guest, period, point blank. You know what I'm saying?
I guess. Is Rick Rubin a guest?
No.
I mean, it gets deeper
but that's
than
my
that.
point.
Is Jimmy Iovine a guest?
No.
Is he a guest? I think he's not a guest, right?
Rick Rubin is not. But see, the thing is, though, that just goes to one of the greatest basketball players ever is Tim Duncan. They call him Mr. Fundamental.
Was not flashy.
Not flashy. He just played the game the way the game
was
supposed to be played.
In life or the game, he
You're
was
right.
not flashy.
Not flashy. He just played the game the way the game was supposed to be played.
Nice guy.
Nice guy. 5 titles. One of the best power forwards to ever live.
Yeah.
Right? Because he played the game the way he's supposed to be played. Now, let me give you a couple of analogies about no main vocals. If a drummer came out on stage with a live drum set, mic'd up and everything, and when the music came on, he air drummed, you would look at him like he was fucking stupid. If a stand-up comedian got on stage, and every time he said a joke, he pressed a button and you heard the laugh track coming out of the speakers, it'd be horrible. A lot of these cats don't even rap no more. They're lip syncing. Or if they're rhyming, they're doing their ad-libs and letting the main vocals play.
I agree. I was going to say the reason there's not a good hype man anymore is because the lead guy is basically acting as the hype man. And there's no room for the hype man to jump in other than to do the main vocals, which would be silly at that point.
Now, if you check out Verse, I did Partake Media with them.
He said you were one of their best performances.
He said I was one of the best performances audio wise because you can actually hear me. And this is what I hated about the Dipset Lock shit.
Yeah.
Right? The whole fucking world saw the difference. All these motherfuckers around here saw the difference. And they still was like, no, it's not a difference.
Right.
But when the police beat the shit out of a nigga, and it's on video, and everybody mad because you see what's happening on video, but everybody's choosing to see what they want to see.
Right.
It's a problem.
It's the same thing.
And it's the same thing. You saw
wow.
what happened.
Wow.
You saw what happened.
Glad you said that. Wow.
You saw what happened. And you tried to denounce it just for the sake of arguing, bro. That's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers ain't arguing to learn. They're arguing to rebuttal. They don't want to hear you. They just waiting on their turn to speak, you know. And all the bullshit excuses. Venues with fucked up sound systems. Okay, let's address that. If the venue has a fucked up sound system and you know anything about sound, then you finna make the system sound worse. Because you're rhyming over something. Imagine a sound man's job where he got the EQ, your voice through.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we keep talking, and
exactly.
Between us, you can hear very clearly how one sounds better than
the other, right? You dig what I'm saying? Now, on the Dipsec Locks thing, if you go back and watch and you read the comments from the Instagram and shit, you hear so many people praising him because they like, wow, I can hear him. You see people saying shit like, I forgot how great hip hop was like this, blah, blah, blah. The fans have become so fucked up that they're accepting this shit because that's all they get.
Back in the day, I think the goal for all artists and the way I was taught was you want to perform the record yourself and make it sound as good, as close as you can
to the original,
to the way it sounds on the CD.
Right, but you might have to adjust some things.
You might have to adjust some things, and a lot of people use what was called a TV track with the ad-libs on it to help with a word or something, or maybe it has the chorus on it.
That's what I do. I use the chorus in my ad-libs.
You're right. But the point being, it seems like what I don't like about the current state of affairs is it seems like people have completely. Now, I've said it before, Nas was judged on his stage show when he first came out because he was rapping with no main vocals, but he didn't move around a lot. Rakim was always judged on his stage show because if the sound system wasn't perfect, his voice would, being a monotone and a low voice, he would have troubles. Big Daddy Kane never had trouble. Bismarcky never had trouble.
KRS-One
never had trouble. Some artists never have trouble. And what that really means is if the mic is on and is loud enough, which many rappers know how to tell the sound man to turn the mic up. That seems like if they don't know anything, they know that. A lot of rappers as a DJ need to practice at home and learn how to hold the mic. Practice at home with an actual mic plugged up to an actual speaker and actually rap holding the mic to learn how to and how to not hold the mic. That's a big issue for some people.
I feel like the mic.
I feel like all of this comes down to rehearsal and people's lack of preparation and wanting to rehearse.
Clap for you when you said that.
That's what I feel like.
90% of these venues don't even have wedges in the front. They don't even have monitors in the front. When we used to come, me and Akko, we're a tandem. So on tour, we would switch off. Today, you got the monitors and he got the house. Tomorrow we would flip. So while I'm on stage, I'm checking the monitors with the sound man. Hey, yo. Then I always make sure we got high enough because we dealing with loud instrumentation. But he left us room to come up when the room filled up. He would check the house. Check the highs, check the lows, check the mids, woo. That was on us. Then when they come out, they check the instruments, make sure the instruments sound good on stage, make sure they sound good in the back. That's cool. Okay, so if you don't do a sound check, know what we used to do? If you couldn't do a sound check, you would put an intro track to your show so you could rap with it so the sound man could get a chance to dial in. Okay, sound man, how that sound over here? How that sound over here? How that sound over there? Okay, cool, let's go. Now, if you want to go back to mentioning what you were saying, like Rakim and all those guys, guess what they did? They learned how to adjust. You got to adjust. But if you see a video with Jay-Z, when he was getting ready to do the song and the DJ played this shit and them vocals was in there, nuh-uh, homie. We don't do that over here. No. Because what kind of music is this called? Rap music.
Right.
The whole point of rap music was beats and rhymes. The beat come on, you give the people your spirit through rhyme. That's it. Now, like I said, there's always anomalies that entertain very fucking well. I've never saw Yanti perform until the other day. And I was very fucking impressed.
It's powerful.
It's powerful. I was very impressed. But I'm sitting there thinking like, yo, if this little nigga did this and this and this, you could book him a show in LA on a local show and the checkbooks would come out right away. As impressive as his stage show is, in a crowded market like LA or New York, in places where they are good motherfuckers, you just another good cat. You just another good one. You dig what I'm saying? The competition is thick.
Yeah.
Down here, it ain't too thick with what he does. It's a lot of gangster shit, a lot of money talk and all that other shit, whatever. But here it's fucking, man, everybody can do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like some of my favorite artists, they get up there and they do this shit with the vocals and I'll be like, fuck, man. Damn, I wanted to hear him do this song. I wanted that to be impressive to me. That's just me. But everybody ain't got to cater to me. But what I'm saying is, imagine for 5 minutes, you being the greatest that you can be. You taking your talent to the pinnacle. You're not cool with being right here. That's why Kanye is who the fuck he is.
Before we get to too much longer, I would just like to offer this one idea I just had. I think, Yante usually rolls with a small crew of people when he performs.
Yeah, I've seen them little homies. They can spit too. They
can spit too.
Yeah,
and
this
leads me to give something to his live performance. You know, if you're not gonna say the vocals or if you're gonna lip sync them or whatever anyway, let somebody in the crew go back and forth with you. Let him say half the verse and you say, and y'all go back and forth, and that'll bring a lot of energy to the situation.
I said that on Network Show yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
Get you one of them Janet Jackson microphones.
There's ways to do it.
Yeah, get you one of them Janet Jackson
There's
over the
ways to do
ear
it.
microphones that sit right here, so your hands can be free. Because holding this right here will take a lot more energy.
Yeah,
right. So
he does need the Bobby Brown, Janet Jackson.
The Bobby Brown, get the Bobby Brown joint. You know what I'm saying? Get one of, I think the crew is COE, right?
Yeah,
right,
COE.
Right.
Yep,
so get one of the COE cats. Just go in the little rehearsal spot real quick. Hey, when I do this and I get ready to do the flip over here.
I mean, he's bubbling to such a point like, yo, you go home and learn this, and let's go back and forth. And then when it's time for me to run off and jump somersault, you can rock the crowd with it. You can keep rocking the vocals. You know, exactly. I don't know. We're two old washed up guys. Yante's gonna do whatever he does and want to do, as everybody does.
But he's a good kid.
Great performer.
He has
great
a
music.
Great performer.
He's got the city with him. I'm happy for him.
And he got and he has a shot. He legitimately has a shot.
I agree.
And I think that what he's doing right now is bigger than what he knows he's doing. He's living in the moment, which is good. But youth is wasted on the young, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I want him to be ready for that call. If that call comes, I want him to have all facets of the game checked. So if you're doing it with your vocals and you feel like you're not getting enough reaction in front of the people that made that call, guess what you can do? You're ready to switch it at any time and show them that you are the concert performer. Show them that you do care about your live performance. You do care about your craft. Bro, them motherfuckers used to make us spit our vocals on a treadmill.
It was reported that Outkast used to have to jog with their mouths filled with water to make them breathe through their nose.
Yes.
Tricks like that to help with breath control and performance.
All in the name of somebody paying $9.99 for your CD and they get to come see you live. People want to feel your spirit when they come. They want to see their favorite entertainer do that record. They don't want to listen to Apple Music on stage. They want to see their favorite entertainer do that record. And that's all I'm saying. everything that I said about this No Main Vocal campaign is only helping people. But everybody want to argue because it's cool to talk shit about EMERG from your podcast. It's cool to do that because you get numbers, you raising the traffic. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers I done checked with this old and bitter shit. Old and bitter. First of all, yeah, I'm old, but my cleats right now got more mud in them from this turf than any of these young motherfuckers. Yeah. I'm still out here. I'm still spitting. I just don't do music for what y'all do music for. I ain't chasing the dream. I've been there. Music is just my liberation now. It's just the way I stay young.
And with the hypnosis popping off and being so successful, why would you focus on music at this point?
I've done a whole album catering to hypnosis. It's called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is another modality of the brain that I study. And I wrote a whole album in hypnotic language. So when people came to my little shit, oh, the music it's good, but it was boring. Of course it was boring. It's a hypnotic record. It's meant to be listened in your ear so it could take you somewhere. Now, if you read the reviews from people in my community who actually wrote the fucking album for, it's getting rave reviews right now. You know what I'm saying? People are fucking with it. But I go viral. I do 3 million views on a video and don't have no views from around here. Nobody knows what the fuck I got going on. I did 42,000 followers and probably 3 million views on TikTok in a week, in 7 days. And got to put the screenshot up for people to show. Nobody around here knows because when I go on the EMERG MCVAY page on Facebook where my 5,000 friends are, you got the hatrix. You understand? But when I go over there to the Brain Bully page and all the people that's outside of this motherfucker, oh man, they celebrating the shit out of a nigga, bro. You know what I'm saying? They ain't fucking with, they not doing what these motherfuckers around here is doing. So
it's all good.
So I would say this in conclusion. So nothing is misconstrued. I am Arizona hip hop. I'm from Chicago, but I've been in this motherfucker for 24 years. I am Arizona hip hop through and through. I love Arizona. I love the music scene. And I would be the nigga that everybody got to beat up on. I would be the nigga that falls on the sword. I would be the guy that if you gotta have a pinata, go ahead, beat me up. But I'm not gonna stop preaching greatness to these kids. It's No Main Vocals on mine forever and ever and ever and ever. And the competitive MC in me says, if you don't like it, let's battle. But the man in me says, I love you and I just want you to be great. And that's it. Choose the lane that you want to go down with me. If you want to stay on the side, the love you side, let's talk about it. I would love to develop one of these artists. If you on the hatred side, then fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And if Tone don't apologize, I got this record coming and I'm not playing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, for real. He knows it, though.
On it?
He knows it. He knows it. He knows it.
All right.
I seen him mentioning in one of the things, he's in the studio recording a diss record about me, and I tagged up under them, you motherfucking right. I am. Because you bogus. Because you tagged me in some shit and said, Merge, I'm at this show. I finally see what you mean about this No Main Vocal shit. This shit is crazy. Now, I bet if you go try to find that receipt on this page, I bet you that shit gone. And I bet you, as much as he like to hold niggas accountable with shit, I bet he won't screenshot and put that up. You know what I'm saying? I bet he won't put me on this show and admit that. I bet he won't. You know what I mean? Because, nigga, guess what he's trying to do? He's trying to get the numbers I got.
The lie is more exciting than the truth, right?
Motherfucking right. And 80% of that motherfucking shit is the truth anyway, so boom.
All right, well, I think that's where we stand. We know where we stand. Before we go, is there anything you wanted to touch on that I missed that we didn't talk about?
Anything you want to touch on? No.
We pretty much touched on a lot. Then I think we got to everything.
We got to
I
everything.
thought about. I wanted to get to.
Yeah. You know, there's new stuff on the horizon. So go out, check out my record, NLP. Just put in NLP Michigan. It's on Spotify, Tidal, all that shit. Shout out to my big brother Jack the Mac, because we took that record back to the essence. One MC, one producer. We did that. So follow that. Follow me on all social media platforms. All you gotta do is type in The Brain Bully, and there'll be a path to me somewhere that way. Easy to find me. If you're in California, go to ice cream dispensaries, because they got that gas. If you see me in the streets, I'll blow some with you. For sure.
God bless.
And no main vocals.
No main vocals is the mission. So there's going to be music. There may be music pointed at the Hatrix. We're waiting to hear and see about that. I seriously doubt Tone is going to apologize. So I think you may have to drop that record. I don't know.
Well, I'm definitely sure that he's, because
Can I debut it if you do drop it?
I'm sending it to everybody.
Okay.
And I just want to say this. I saw Tone at the Sound Fest.
Yes.
The other day.
Big show. Salute to John Blaze.
Salute to John Blaze.
Everybody with the Southwest Sound Fest.
And I am the ambassador for the core DJs of the state of Arizona. Also, I forgot about that.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
You are official core DJ ambassador for Arizona.
Yes. So
salute.
Thank you. So I saw dude the other day. John Blaze is one of my core DJ people too.
Yes.
Poker Face is one of my core DJ
LA.
people.
Shout out to DJ LA.
Shout out to DJ LA.
Yep.
It's a few core DJs around here,
yes.
right? I was at the show, and it took everything in my body not to say nothing to him. Mm-hmm. No, nothing aggressive. Like I want to fight him because
just talk it out as men or whatever.
That's why I'm so mad at him, because I thought he was one of my people. That's why I'm upset. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought he was one of my people. But I wanted to say something to him so bad. But the reason why, because I was afraid that in the current climate, it may have been taken wrong. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if something would have been said some way, if we would have been able to stay there. So instead of anything being something that is not supposed to be, I just chose to look him in his face real quick, let him know I see him, and then just turn around and put my head down and just chill out. Because where we were standing was bigger than the problem that me and him having. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shout out to them. But I just hate that he used my name in vain like that, because, man, it was so many different ways he could have said that. I'm not going to let EMERG McVay hate on the younger generation. You motherfucker, you.
Yeah.
When you just agree with me, G.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So, yeah. And he's probably not going to respond. So, goddamn it, shit. It's on and popping.
New music from the Brain Bully, EMERG McVay, former Interscope artist, current battle rapper, current strip club DJ, current hypnosis expert. Hollered him on any of the social medias if you want to learn hypnosis, if you want to be hypnotized to do away with, to help manage smoking, bad habits, anger issues. My wife might get me involved to help with some anger issues. One last question. I meant to bring this up earlier. We talked about helping people manage their racism with hypnosis. I wanted to bring in some yo boys, some white rappers, and see if you could hypnotize them to a time before hip hop. Now, I'm
regress them.
I'm white. I was a white rapper. I've been a white DJ. Been a white person a long time, and I'm not saying I'm white. I'm saying people tell me I'm white. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I was raised in the South. So, but what I'm saying is there was a time before I was exposed to hip hop, because I was an older guy. So I didn't get exposed to hip hop really till say like 82 or 3.
Okay.
So I was different then.
Right.
Could you regress me to a time before hip hop, when I was just a regular average T-ball, baseball white guy?
Right. Yes.
You think so?
The answer is yes. We do a modality called past life regression.
Okay.
So not only could I regress you back to that time, I could take you back to your mother's womb. I can even take you back to the life that you had before you lived this.
So with all that, you and we'll end this here and pick it up next time. You believe in past lives?
Yes.
Okay, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Okay. That might explain a lot as to why we act the way we do and maybe why the social media scene is so crazy. EMERG McVay, I appreciate you so much coming to sit down with me on the mission. Mm-hmm. Your stories are incredible. I think they should and will help whoever listens to this, who aspires to be an artist, who aspires to sign with a major label. Excuse me. Maybe your stories make them stay independent. You never know who or what you're putting your career into when you sign with a major label, and I think you learned that the hard way.
Yes, sir.
And time,
me and Poker Face.
Time and circumstance are a motherfucker sometimes. Poker Face is another person I would love to talk to on the mission. Please come in. I will invite him and talk to him soon about that.
Yeah, he has an interesting story.
I'm sure he does. There are a lot of interesting stories here in Arizona. A lot of them are not being told. That's our goal. That's our mission here at the Mission. Thanks again to EMERG McVay.
My man.
Thank you for coming to sit down, bro. This has been the Mission. Thanks to everybody that watched. See you next week.
Bet.